officially transformed. What is your name now?
Oh, I'm Christian. Yeah. I mean, I'm Alex Soup, but I just look like Christian now.
Christian, or my never, has joined me in the Whisper Room, and we're gonna be apparently streaming Valorant. This is a thing that I was not sure I was doing, but I'm glad I'm doing it because I get to learn about Valorant.
Great,
Yippee!
great game. Game of the esports game of the year last year. Very fun game.
Esports Game of the Year. I didn't know that. Interesting. I do play a lot of Counter Strike, so hopefully, um, some of the knowledge might transfer. I'll try to keep my mouth shut when it comes to strategy, but I'll tell you guys who died. You'll definitely know who is not on the map anymore. I can promise you that. Do you want to like just look at? Should we wait for the Valorant, or do you want to look at the support showdown a little bit?
Let's do the support showdown.
Okay, so the support
It's still
showdown's still
going on.
running, so we're gonna watch that for a sec.
We've got about 15 minutes. Oh, and
15 minutes.
Zelfam left the game.
Ah, not Zalfam, the goat.
He was too good.
How did Evo find two there? We gotta switch over if we wanna.
True.
Here, I'll do the camera work since I haven't done that in a minute.
Hmm. Yeah, it's really interesting that they made Zelfam leave.
Probably too good. If you guys didn't know, Zalfam is a top 500 support player, so I'm not gonna lie, his inclusion in this would be difficult because you'd have to put a lot of good players against him. Oh, but
Well, Evo's also quite good. He is also he's historically a GM player as well.
but is that on support?
It probably isn't on support, but
Yeah, but Evo
I
does
believe
finally
he
go
does
there.
GM all roles.
I don't exactly know what's going here on Saramasa, but a lot of people are dying.
There's been a lot going on. It's really hard to tell what exactly is happening.
So let me introduce you. The red team is Team Schmungus.
Okay.
Blue team is Team Bingus.
Of course.
Yeah, so far Schmungus has been coming up on top of Bingus for the most part, but Bingus did win I think they won one round, right? Chad, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Bingus did come out victorious on a couple of rounds of maps, but I think Schmungus has been the dominant player. The team captains are Evo and Balmor, by the way.
Of course. Obviously, very fair.
That's
balanced
pretty,
teams.
pretty good. I don't know. I mean, yeah, everyone's been impressing me today because a lot of these players don't play support. For those who don't know, it's gonna be very odd to switch from this to Valorant, but I'll do my best to learn. Right? I just told my friends that I'm gonna be casting.
It is very similar to CS:GO, so there is a lot of overlap. There's still a lot of flashes. The
Okay.
mechanics are
Okay.
similar.
I've been wanting to cast CS so bad because it's one of my favorite games. Oh my god, look at this. Bingus. They're making it happen. And Panda for Life. The two Zenyatas.
They
It's
are
what happens.
making
It's what makes it happen. I can't believe this. The double Zenyatta, the double Kiriko. Perhaps this is the meta that they've been searching for on Saramasa. They're down one, but I mean, this long range setup is definitely something that you'd have to contend with.
It is interesting, the long range setup.
Do you play a lot of support?
I historically am a bronze support, bronze
All
5
right.
peak.
Oh, Evo with a snipe.
Crazy snipe.
That's a headshot onto Smitty.
Definitely gives them the advantage early. They have to
Yeah.
pop an ult to compensate.
But they don't even come in off the back of the ult.
It's not enough. And now the Schmungus,
Yes.
Team Schmungus is ulting.
Yes, Team Schmungus, the Transcendence to be returned.
And
by Team
we
Bingus.
have a second Transcendence?
Yeah.
Oh, there are two Zenyatas, of course.
Yeah. There's three Zenyatas on this map.
Yes, because my mistake. I should have known.
Man, Bingus is making work here. I mean, they've been doing a great job defending this, and then you got some contesting from the other side, Mesmer in particular, but they will be shut down.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was unwinnable for Schmungus.
Yeah, but it is 1-1, so
Sorry, not unwinnable.
not
Difficult.
unwinnable, but difficult. Quite difficult indeed. And I don't think they had the resources for it, at least not with. You'd think they would because, but against two Transcendents, I don't know. That's rough.
Two Transcendence is very hard.
What I like about this setup is they've got two defensive and two offensive ults with the Nano as well. That's a pretty interesting combo because you'll almost always, if you cycle it right, you'll almost always have defensive and offensive options on the table.
Yeah. So the current state of the game is looking like Team Schmungus has point control. The other team, Team Bingus, is very likely going to have to use an ult to compensate for that to get an engagement, especially now that they're down 2 players.
Yeah, that's true.
Now they're pretty much lost already, but they do have 2 ults on the board to match Team Schmungus's 2 ults.
Yeah, I mean, that was it's gonna be a rough one here for Bingus. It's Schmungus all day, it seems like, but Bingus, something's happening on that point. Let me do
Something
more
is
camera
happening.
control, because I apologize, I haven't been on duty with that.
It's very interesting. I actually haven't seen 2 Kitsunes. We didn't see it here really because we missed it, I think. But I haven't seen it before, so I don't know if they actually overlap. Give you extra
Yeah,
attack.
we were trying to figure that out earlier, if that would be the case, but we couldn't quite
Couldn't tell.
figure it out, yeah.
Very
I wanted
normal.
to look at Evo here, because the snipes have been pretty nasty.
Top 500 DPS, trust.
I believe it'll happen. Looks like they're gonna pop.
Zelfam is back in the game to make it even, it seems like. And he's back out again, back in spectator. Ooh. Almost on the Lucio.
Brought very low, but not quite low enough.
Evo's still just taking it like a boss every day, bro. Interesting Zenyatta Transcendent to get out. We saw at the end there.
Ooh. Kiriko able to escape.
A lot of interesting stuff. It's very hard to tell what the objectives are, like what the win condition is here. I think it's basically, for at least Team Schmungus, Evo get a kill, and then, you know, the team take advantage of that. And then for Team Bingus, it's pretty much kill Evo, who is admittedly probably their best player.
I guess I haven't thought about it too much, but these players do know each other very well, so they probably recognize, like, you know, who to look out for on each team. What is
Yeah.
That was a very long jump.
Is this totally mayhem?
No,
not totally.
This is standard. Ooh, stand up for life with a snipe on a ghost frag.
Incredible.
Thought we were almost playing Widowmaker out here with ranges like that. We were talking so much about Evo, but Ender for Life is one to look out for on the side of Bingus.
Of course. Very powerful player here. On our red team for DPS this last semester, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
I wouldn't necessarily know because I was also playing at the same time.
Yeah, it is tough to keep track of everything. A lot of people, a lot of esports players we got at this campus.
Seems like the Zenyatta flying perk is the pick there, which can let Zenyatta get to very interesting high grounds.
Yeah,
But right now, Panda for Life is doing nothing. Ooh, but he did peek and get a lot of damage off on Evo. Let them get killed. There is an Alari on the board, but Alari is one. Alari could die very well for that. Did not die. Did not get punished. Panda for Life needs to hit something. Late alt, but can save his team. Can save his team. It's huge. It's Alari.
Yeah, great job by Panda for Life. He was able to kill and get the Transcendence. And now it's Evo
versus the world.
But Leonix is not quite there in time. They might get punished for it as well. They do.
Absolutely get punished.
Downward gets shut down. The savior of Xenonix to fall.
Probably should have dropped the turret for the second. It gives you the extra range instead of the escape. But very minor difference. Saving the Evo was, I think, the play no matter what.
Yeah, it's a tough decision there.
Very tough.
How close are we getting to the Valorant nowadays?
Valorant does start at 8 p.m. We are waiting.
See if anyone came back. Oh, we do have 10 people here. Thank you guys for staying.
Thank you guys for staying.
We had the change was a bit abrupt.
Was a bit abrupt. My fault. My fault completely.
It's a great play there, Evo, with a consistent output. We're now in a 2-minute delay.
So the Valorant team, the Valorant Cougars, are currently getting in voice chat. They are all getting together right now. There was some confusion whether it was a scrim or a match tonight. It is a match. They are going to nationals.
That's not great.
It's not. But this, it's fine. They weren't all at the scrim last night, so. Very common confusion.
So if I'm not mistaken, you've been helping out that team, right? Can you tell us a bit about that process?
Well, one of their players had approached me like, bro, we have nationals on Monday. We really need help. Can you make some time? And I was like, sure, buddy, I got you. You know me, famously uses buddy all the time. Everyone's my buddy. So I had approached them, or I had got in voice chat with them during one of their designated scrim blocks, and having casted their games previously for their other matches, I'd had a few things prepared to point out to them that they would need to improve on, and then we spent the rest of the night with them practicing it, getting ready for it. They did 5v1 me in a custom map, and obviously I lost. But I didn't go down without a fight. I got a few kills. I almost went even.
I mean, yeah, that's a good way to train, actually. What do you think? I don't know. I mean, I've never been really a coach before. I've done a VOD review, but what do you think? What is it like being a? Do you do a lot of coaching? What is it like being a coach?
I don't do a lot of designated coaching because it takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication, a lot of consistency. But coaching is a very unique position. It can't just be left up to a good player. The player also has to be a good communicator on top of being a good player. And even just beyond that, they also have to be able to understand the fundamentals of things that people don't really think about while they're playing. And that's really the most important part.
Yeah.
You could be a top 500 Overwatch player, but if you can't explain how dive works, how to call a dive target, you're not going to be able to coach a team well, because even though the process is very simple to you and very intuitive, to some people it might not be. You need to be able to understand that and communicate it. And I think that's why a lot of coaches don't do too well in teaching people, and why a lot of people would get frustrated, paying a coach to not learn anything. It's a very unique position, very difficult.
Yeah. Could you tell me a little bit about the Valorant, the state of the game? Because I don't play the game. I've played it maybe once, so I'd love to know, and I'm sure the audience would love to know what's going on a competitive side. At least at the level that we're going to be watching briefly.
Yeah, well, a lot of it, a lot of Valorant.
Actually, can I just go to?
We can come to camera.
Yeah.
We have about 4 minutes until the match starts. A lot of Valorant competitive ends up becoming a mechanics competition, and that's what I've seen a lot in the NECC. Not really a lot of really good team play, a lot of good fundamentals of the game, like being able to push and attack well as a team. I've seen a lot of that lacking through the NECC, but a lot of individual mechanical skill, mechanical differentials, to where one player could end up getting 2 or 3 kills. And a lot of teams have banked on that really heavily. I'm not going to say too much more about that, but that's what I've seen a lot in the NECC overall. Hopefully, as the game matures more, as it's out for longer, people will start to understand how to play it in a more advanced setting, to where team play is more important, and they'll start to stabilize their mechanics at their individual skill levels, to where if I hopped into Silver, and as a Silver player, everyone has similar mechanics, and it's not one person who's incredibly cracked mechanics and doesn't know how to play the game, and the rest of the people on the team trying to play the game well, whose mechanics are not as good. That's been a lot of my experience in solo queue on Valorant when I was playing a lot, and it's not really. It's just a sign that the game is still new, still growing.
Yeah, I mean, I have friends who play a lot of Valorant, so I hear things here and there, about, is there any like meta stuff that we should be aware of, in terms of like what you expect that they'll be playing, or a strategy they might employ?
Yeah.
Well, of course, something that doesn't spoil it for, the enemy team, but
of course. It is very map dependent. It is going to depend on what maps get picked and what each person ends up deciding to play. I did mention to the team last night about, and we did discuss their roles on the team, like initiator, duelist, sentinel, similar to support in Overwatch versus DPS. They just have different purposes in the team play aspect of the game. We did discuss that briefly. I feel quite confident that the team overall is ready for what's to come and that they are going to think a lot more about their character's role in the game. I am hoping to see a little bit of certain characters more than others. I did mention to the team what characters, clear up a couple misconceptions about what characters were good on certain maps.
Okay.
I believe it was, I can't remember exactly what it was, but as far as I remember, it was something like Breach being good on Lotus last night. If that was it, it's not the case. Breach is not good on Lotus specifically. Breach is really good on Lotus. They did not think Breach was that good on Lotus, and they wanted to, instead of Breach, have a different player, a different character, which is not good. That character, I told them not to play on Lotus, and that Breach was a lot better because Breach has a lot more flexibility when pushing to certain points. Breach overall is very powerful, and it's something that I would like to see a lot more in team play because it just lets the duelist play. It's very flexible to play off of with duelist. Breach being an initiator has a lot of flexibility for a lot of different maps, and it's something that I feel isn't taken advantage of in the NECC currently that I haven't seen, and I do tune into the streams occasionally.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see it all unfold shortly. This is the match time, so hopefully we'll be seeing games shortly. We're going to close out of Overwatch here as we switch back over to Valorant.
Yep.
Reminds me of certain time when we lost a lot of Overwatch pros.
Of course, yeah. But happens every so often.
I think we lost more Counter-Strike pros, I feel like, to Valorant than Overwatch ones, but, you know.
Yeah.
Certain ones, especially those which shall not be named.
Drop it. Drag them.
Nah.
Valorant hasn't launched yet. I'm a little scared.
Uh-oh. I know we have to install, like, the virus, right, to be able to play.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Which should have been installed. It's just been taking a long time, guys. All right, we got it.
It's a shame that I made the playoff day transition and like screen for Overwatch. Because if we made it for Valorant, we could just run it whenever.
That is true.
We'll go back to the Be Right Back one.
Yeah, we'll be back shortly while we figure this out.
All right. See you guys.
All right, welcome back.
I was just giving a little bit of a lesson on the differences between Valorant and Counter-Strike, which I'm more familiar with. If I make any mistakes, I apologize. I'm not. I'm here as a supporter. Christian is our Valorant expert, so he's gonna guide us in the ways of the game.
Yes, I'm very interested and excited to see this team play because from what we discussed last night, they have a real shot at contending in finals and nationals.
I love that. Love to hear that.
Love to hear that.
Are we allowed to show the?
We should be allowed to.
Okay.
I don't think
it's
it's
a
problem.
Sometimes
This isn't. I don't even think this is a map right now.
Oh,
I don't think. Oh, never mind.
We're loading in Fracture. What can you tell us about Fracture before this game starts?
I haven't played Fracture in a hot minute. It's been out of the map pool since I was last time I was on the team. It seems that it's back now. What I do remember is that there are a lot of ways to get really creative. And it's a very confusing map to play on because the two sites are very separated in this map specifically, and there's a lot of ways to get around. You can actually invade on this map from the back side and the front side. You can see here there's a zip line on the screen right underneath that goes underneath the entire map. And when you go on there, you pretty much have a free path to the back as long as there's no one guarding that zip line. And it allows for a lot of creativity when you're creating your engages and your pushes. I do believe that this is the enemy team's map pick because we had not discussed this map beforehand, and they insta-locked to assert dominance as always.
Is your team not allowed to ban maps they don't play?
We are, but I think they were also comfortable playing this map because they do have a perma ban.
Okay, what's the perma ban?
I do not remember, but their perma ban will not be played tonight. I can tell you that they already banned it.
Sounds good.
I believe the pick order for this tournament was ban, map, ban, and then the last map they play.
I see. Are these comps pretty standard, you'd say, or anything you were surprised by?
This is pretty much standard, pretty what we discussed. I was not aware of a Viper player on our team, but I'm interested to see what's gonna happen. We're gonna have a lot that's gonna happen.
Oh, I like the view. We can see the enemy team. That's very nice. We don't get that.
We don't always get that. So what we have here going on, obviously, for those of you who have played Valorant, you can recognize this right away. You're doing a 3-2 split. One map has 2 people, or one position has 2 people. One site. Excuse me. I can get there eventually, guys. One site has 2 people set up. One site has 3 people. 3 people are stacked on A here. Looks like Raze is going for an engage early on the enemy team into the back of site. He's going to be holding very aggressive here. Also holding alone. Not entirely a bad decision as long as he does not peek them. He can probably get a kill here.
Ooh.
He did end up peeking them. It did cost him his life.
Doesn't work out.
But they do also know now that they are pushing A site. It allows the Clark Cougars to rotate very quickly. Typhon is seen. Our Viper is seen on point. So the enemy team now knows where he is on A site. He is still holding this. Good decision. He needs one of his teammates to cover him really quick because they know what's going on. They get a pick to even it out. They get 2 picks. They have the spike control now.
Great job.
This is a great time.
Oh, and he finds 3.
He finds 3. The Clark Cougars now have a perfect chance to just hold the spike forever. You know Omen's there, and you know that there's one who just picked up the spike. You have to make a decision here. They have spike now.
The knowledge gain very important here as Typhon is looking to secure probably even an ace in this pistol round. Already with the 3 kills.
Yeah, and it looks like the enemy team is going for a really slow re-hit. They backed up all the way, expecting us to peek them. And it seems like they're backing up, running away. Clark Cougars recognize this. They heard the running footsteps. Instead of chasing, this is their chance to set up on B. But we also know our Cypher here is waiting for that to happen.
He's expecting the rotate, it looks like.
They know that the tripwire's been tricked. They know that they're planting on site. He can get a free kill. That box is shootable. They're planted, and it's only one left. This is a great time to defuse. It's a free defuse.
Yeah, the rotate there looks like their only option, but when they got to the point, they found T-Star to greet them.
There is a ghost there. Now we only have one ghost because T-Star did not pick one up. Unlucky. Yeah. T-Star is our Sentinels player on the team. He's always playing Sentinels. I've seen him playing a lot of Killjoy even last semester when we played together, and it's very awesome to see that he's switching it up a little with the Cypher.
Yeah. So tell me about what Sentinel's doing, or the T-Star's doing on Sentinel on that other point. How does that work? Like, is he in a camera view or?
So well, when we switched to Cypher, he was in his camera.
I see.
The camera you can set up pretty much anywhere you want, and then you can choose to look through it at any point. The Sentinel's role on any given map is usually to anchor a site really hard, which just means that you're sitting on that site for as long as humanly possible to make sure that the enemy team cannot push the site while the rest of your team rotates and repositions accordingly.
Makes sense.
So as you can see, Cypher has been on the site the entire time, B site both times now, while the rest of his team has been pushing back and forth between the two sites. Because it doesn't matter if it's a 4v5 as long as they don't capture the other site for free. If they have to retake a site, it becomes a lot harder to win the round.
Exactly. Now they have the advantage here, one to fall. An early kill.
They do. A lot of very easy spam here. That looks like Tejo, sorry. Tejo peeked out and ended up getting killed for it, and it's a 1v1 now. They know exactly where he is. Peeking with the util, Joey, unfortunately, our Breach player, does die, giving Neon a very interesting place to hold. And we do get the push on the Neon. Unfortunately, can't kill him. But they have a very good position to kill him because they did have him in a crossfire as long as they just peeked, and they did, which caused the Neon to panic and did cost them their life.
Yeah, Tony was in a tough spot there. Enemies on both sides, not much to do.
It happens. It just comes down to how far you're extending.
If you are on the opposition here of Clark, I don't know the school off the top of my head. How do you deal with the anchor of the Sentinel on that? What would you do if you were trying to combat that? Because it seems pretty consistently going to hold B there. I do now see.
Well, the way I usually think about it is a Sentinel is worth 2 people
this could be,
on a site on defense. Oh, missed the headshot. That it was completely off sight line. But what they have to do right now is make sure they don't see the Cypher. But they did see the Cypher. So now what they have to do is just get one pick as they leave. And that would put them in an incredible position.
Ooh, but the flank here could be
the Cypher did die to the Neon, and Viper died too, not knowing the Neon was behind that box. Very understandable. The rest of the team gets some spam kills through that smoke as they get stunned, but the Breach cannot push because he did not clear all his corners. And it's just Neon, not Neon, I don't know who that is, left on that site. Do we have
a tough round there? It looks like they wanted to put another one on the because they go and B quite a bit.
Yeah, they are trying to. It's really hard to attack on Fracture. It's easy to attack on Fracture, but it comes down to how you play as a team. It's a very heavily team coordination based map, and that's going to show a lot here. Vise was the last one alive on that last map. As long as you are coordinated, your attacks on this map specifically are really easy.
Hold here from Bucky, a little bit different than last time we saw.
It is. He is waiting for the enemy team to peek him, which is good. He gave up some extra space there. I would have waited a little bit longer for someone to peek my sight line. He is rotating really early. He needs to turn around right now. You know that there are people there.
Ooh, but he finds
He got 2.
The trade is in benefit to Clark.
It is in benefit right now. We are even, though, because we did lose one. It seems like the enemy team is rotating back to B. We have Typhon still sitting here. Again, as long as the Sentinel doesn't recall and lose their utility, they are worth 2 people on any given site. I don't know where that Omen just TP'd. I think that was his ult. And we are now... Ooh, he did get trapped by the ultimate there. It did cost a Tejo ult.
Clark now on the back foot. They have to make something happen if they want to retake.
They did get a pick. They can get one more.
Ooh, 2 there.
Good kill.
And now just 1 left to defend the spike, but it's a 1v1.
It's just the Omen. They do know where he is. Viper does not have any abilities right now.
They're going to go for the hold. It doesn't even look like they're going to fake it.
Absolutely
and
go for the hold.
Defuse.
Omen is too far away to win. Omen is too far away to get that kill.
I like that game sense, knowing that they didn't have the option to contest them, even if they still have the defuse.
Yeah, it's very important to be able to understand that, especially when you don't have any utility left, any abilities. If he had abilities, maybe he could have stuck it with more confidence, but he stuck it anyways, knowing that they couldn't push him. I would have been worried if the Omen was closer, but he was not.
Does this game have like a economy boost if you lose multiple rows in rounds in a row? And does that play into the game at all, or is that not a thing? I
think there is a little bit, and it just helps with your save rounds, but overall, it's not something you want to bank on.
It's like 3 now pushing in.
Ooh.
I was not surprised. I was surprised to see that.
Panicked. It's all right. It's all right. He has to relax. He's completely blocked out in vision. Just give your team a chance to rotate. You know, Typhon's got you. Cypher's got you. Excuse me. T-Star. T-Star has been showing a lot onto his prowess tonight, gaining a lot of value, even though he has not gotten too many kills. Very interesting utility usage. It's good. It's forcing him to back up. Did get them a kill, as we have 2 anchors on the other site, on A site. We are getting there's only 1 person left, and we are getting a crazy flank on the Rays just in case. But that was an insane flick.
One-shot flick.
Only need 1 bullet in this game, and it's worth it.
Play like that. Not even on the right angle.
Enemy team calling a timeout. Very good for us. It's using one of their timeouts to reset.
I mean, you'd assume a timeout now. 5 in a row. Is that, I imagine
5 in a row is a lot. That is half of the first half.
It's first to 13, right? 13?
It is first to 13.
Right.
It says a lot.
I'm glad I remembered that. I did watch my friend play this game quite a bit, but
and Max is gonna have to fill for a minute while I change the screen.
Go for a minute. All right. I mean, what I'm curious to see is if you're. Do you know the school that we're up against? I keep blanking on it, but what I'm curious to see is how they're gonna change up the strategy to get around Clark. I mean, and the thing about Clark though is that they're not running the same thing every time. Obviously, obviously in terms of what the strategy here is, but I do see that they're switching up, who's on the sides. We do see the anchor consistently the sentinel onto B, but the number of people holding B changes around, and it looks like consistently these last couple of rounds they've been wanting to put 3 in that initial push, but it hasn't been very fruitful. So I'm wondering if they're gonna switch that up, and possibly looks like they're gonna use the zip line, the flank. I'm interested to see what happens there.
So what the enemy team needs to do here to break through this is they need to push really hard and really fast. Neon needs to draw the 2 people to look at them, maybe kill one of them while the rest of their team pushes. Right now, I don't know what that Vise was doing. They were completely on the wrong site. Their team needed them there really bad.
Yeah, the trades are even.
You can see the Neon just killed a Sentinel player. The enemy team should have had full site control already, but they're just pushing way too slow at this point. It's giving Clark way too much time to rotate and play off each other, all the time that they would need to do that successfully. And that's really their weak point here, and Clark is definitely taking advantage of that.
I see. Currently in the advantage here. 4 on 3. Looking for that angle. Slowly moving up into here, but they're stunned. Can't find them quite yet, but they are visible now, and they know where they are. Late to take down Bucky and Billawatts. Gets Little Palms. Typhon to take down late. I think I'm reading those in the wrong order.
Completely.
I'll learn. I'll get, by the end of the stream, I'll be the second worst Valorant caster. Trust me. bear with me while I learn the game a little bit to give you guys a better experience here. But I'm glad we have mine over here to give us the details on what's going on in the background here. Tell me about the zip line. How do you think that? Do you think there's a way they could use this zip line to get a better entry into the B site, or possibly even A if they want to go that route?
So they did do it last round, which basically comes down to 1 or 2 people flanking from the backside to draw the defender's attention to let the rest of the team push through main. It will just make it easier and cause a split focus.
Looks like we're gonna have a strong A push.
A very strong A push.
They only have 3 here. They're ready for that. The rotate's gonna happen fast.
So they are also walking through the 2 different doorways here.
Oh, but they are ready for it to find. And it's only late who can
The enemy team is walking through middle. They have middle control now, and we have a 2v1 as they're planting spike. Cypher's going to have to rotate now.
Even it out. They don't expect Billawatts here, I don't think. The rotate was a bit late.
They don't know. It's fine for the late rotate. They're playing retake right now.
Because they've got to look into the site. So many things to clear. That's the thing about Valorant, right? These maps, they've got a million spots to check, but Billawatts, the person for the job.
They're just waiting to play together here. They know somewhat that there's a crossfire going on. They just isolated the crossfire.
You find Lil Palms. The knowledge is there, but the kill isn't. Lil Palms going to take down Billawatts, and now T-Star, the last man alive, and he's able to happen as well. Lil Palms with a 2K, securing the bomb, and the first point for the attackers. A good strat there. I mean, they were very aggressive. We haven't seen so many people go on the same site before. And the rotate was there, but it was a bit late, right? So they were in a very sturdy position in a lot of places they could be. So it's a rough one to find. I could tell though that knowledge was passed. The call out was good. They knew where the people would be, just couldn't quite get their crosshair on them, which is, it happens.
It happens. It's hard to aim when you're blind. There's also a world where he hit the shot and completely clutched up the round, so I'm willing to see it.
There's a world where everything happens, but right now, Clark's still in a good spot, 6-1, and clearly no economic concerns. Bucky to find the entry onto Tony Tiger.
Yep. Now that they're down their duelist, it is in a very good position for them. I'm not sure about that nade since they hadn't engaged yet. We did know that. It is very interesting. The enemy team is going for a rotate. It's a slow rotate nonetheless, but it's a rotate. Their Vise player is going to take zipline, it looks like, or waiting to take zipline. Not sure what they are waiting for, but they are waiting for it.
Yeah, it looks like they want to reset up or of some type here. Now they have 4 against 5. It's going to be a tougher take, looking for the right spot.
Yeah, it does come down. Oh, they're going for the rehit, it looks like. This whole map right here comes down to just being able to attack effectively. They lost their duelist player, so that's going to get a lot harder. But Typhon is covering as they are pushing. Should let their teammates know right now that they are on the site.
Typhon is kind of cornered here, though.
Absolutely cornered. Unfortunately, one of our other players did leave. They are planting for free now. We did not get any sort of pick.
The op now in contention into that site, though. Do they know where Craig is? Not quite. Looking for that entry here. They need a kill if they want to make their way onto this point. And late, though, to make it even tougher for Clark. Billawatts now dead, and T-Star as well. It's going to be a miracle if
they're going to have to
save. Happen.
They're going to have to save for this round. Make sure they keep their guns.
Play here.
That's what they're doing. They're backing up.
I like that. I mean, I don't know too much about the economy game in Valorant, but I imagine those Vandals are something you don't want to start around without. You'd have to go on pistols, I imagine. I'm curious how I've been seeing Clark's been buying the operator two rounds in a row. I mean, it's the same one from last round.
Yeah, the operator is the most expensive gun, just like the op in CS.
Yeah, so are you only is that something that they would do consistently? Are you building up to the op, or is that something you're only going to buy when you really have the economic feasibility to do so?
You don't really want to have the op often, and admittedly, you also don't want Raze with the op often, because Raze is a very mobile character. You like to abuse that with Raze. But also, just to change it up at the start to feint out the team is also very useful. Seems like we got a strong B push going on here.
Yeah, from both sides too, and only
Cypher
two
is
here.
set up. Cypher is ready for it. It looks like Clark did not get the buy there, but the enemy team does have multiple full buys.
T-Star didn't happen, so it's a half buy here for Clark, and T-Star, unfortunately, is the one that's going to have to combat this B push, so a rough road ahead. It looks like they found him.
We did get a trade with Brimstone in the back.
Yeah, a trade, but the rotate, I don't know. It's going to be a retake here for Clark.
And we did lose T-Star, our Sentinel player. Typhon needs to get a kill. He needs this kill for the team. Free kill for the team. Very helpful.
Off guard, and they don't see it though. And now it's a 1-on-3.
Did not fully clear the corner, unfortunately. Cost us the round.
Yeah, that strategy is tough to deal with, I imagine, because it kind of forces you into a retake scenario. I mean, especially when they didn't have the full buy, and so T-Star was on pistol, right? And as an anchor, and that's not something you want to deal with, especially when you got 4 people pushing in.
Yeah, it's very difficult to play retake. But Clark really only needs to win one more round on defense, and their attack side should be stronger here. Like I said, Fracture is a very attacker-sided map if you're coordinated. And they really only need one round for it to mean everything. Oh, they're going for the B push again. I respect it. Typhon really needs to live and get some work done here. Did not reveal T-Star, but they do know T-Star is there. They know T-Star is heaven. T-Star is just waiting for the free pick to come.
The rotate is
as they're pushing slow.
The rotate's going to get there in time, so it's not going to be a retake like last time.
He was unfortunately too close. With the Viper ult, you really should play a little bit farther away just to keep the distance. The enemy team cannot see you in Viper ult, but you can see them. They highlight red.
I see.
We need something to happen here for our buddy Joey. Joey is one of the best players I've seen at Clark in a minute. Very strong this season.
Does find late, but the trading shots but not trading damage. Bucky hit late, and now side is looking a little bit better on this 2-on-2, but again, low health.
So they need to start spraying more. This team has been hiding behind boxes a lot.
Yeah.
They right now know that they're behind the box.
They could have sprayed Joey to take down Phaelus, and now the 2-on-1.
Unfortunately, lost the ult to that. But also, we get the kill anyways. Like I said, Joey, a very powerful player, ended up getting that kill like it was nothing. They do. They do any day of the week.
I don't know the exact timing for the animation, so I was a little worried. I got a little scared there.
That does put us up 1 on the half. The first half is only 12 rounds. Coming in with 7 rounds, that makes it the worst case scenario, 7-5.
It looks like they're now going to go for that 3 on B, or at least someone maybe as a lurk. I don't know if that's the term you guys use in Valorant, but you're going to want someone that can more accessibly get onto B, because they seem to have their sights on it, unless they go for the A this time, which looks like what they might do.
It looks like the enemy team is taking too long to coordinate plans. They're reacting very slowly. You should already, at the start of the round, know what site you're going to hit, basically.
Yeah.
They're playing really slow, very scared to push a site.
2 instant trades, though. It's now a 4-on-4.
Our team, our Clark Cougars right now, are keeping the entirety of backside open, banking fully on Bucky getting kills, which, while not horrible, does cause a lot of issues like what you just saw happen, which is people getting killed for almost no reason because they're trying to get on site last minute.
I see.
They're rotating a little too early. Might be something that they should recognize quickly.
Yeah. Do you retake here? I mean, is there worth saving only 2 Vandals, or do you make something happen? I mean, this looks really rough for Clark.
So with their economy, they should be saving here, because next round they're going to have half buy.
But a one Vandal save might not be what he wants to go for. T-Star.
He should be saving, because it's a 1v4. He can't fight this and win.
Possibly. The economic damage caused is not going to be worth it, and T-Star is going to go for the retreat. It's another round secured. Yeah. Now 7-4.
They are going to have to save this next round for money, because they need this final round of the half to be a strong one.
Makes sense.
And they're going for the kill, because the enemy team does recognize that T-Star ends up killing
Yeah, I didn't expect that to
their
happen.
Neon.
But the Tiger does fall.
Wow.
T-Star keeps the Vandal, and now
T-Star is putting in the work.
I was worried they're gonna have a lone hero right out here. We call it a glass cannon sometimes in CS when you got one person, no armor on the save round, but I'm sure you guys have a term for it as well.
We really
Shotgun,
don't actually. So they did trade to give Bucky the best gun. Bucky is very good mechanically. He's probably
and he
not probably.
He shows
he
us
is
that instantly with a
mechanically incredible. I wish that I had seen that, but he is going to be
there.
waiting for the kill here in the back.
Yeah.
While Typhon should be watching the front line, or has him covered with a trip, I should say. Bucky is just waiting, having the most patience in the world. Doesn't need to do much here. It is a 4v5. Just needs to make them scared as they back up. We are rotating back onto A site, knowing that they're going to rotate, which is incredible. It's an incredible knowledge difference there.
Great read by Clark, able to secure the site now.
Absolutely what was needed, because now they're split 2-2. If there is any position that you want to be in, it is up 1 with a 2v2 on each site.
Bucky to shut down Craig now, but the B rotate is coming in, and it's coming in hot. It's a 2-on-2 here now on the B site as one's lurking, looking for the mid rotate, and Bucky to take down Phaelus.
It was a great takeout. Ooh. Unfortunately, Neon did get the flank, but not before Bucky could get 3 kills.
The Tony Tiger takes 2. Now 3-on-2 on Clark, but the bomb definitely going down.
Ooh, they don't have to be scared here. Well, now they have to be scared. Now they're stunned. You should not be peeking stunned. No, Brimzone. Oh, that was scary. If their Neon was ready for that to re-peek, that would have been death.
The knowledge gain, though, is immense because I'm 2-on-3, and it is a 2-on-2, but with the knowledge of where Tony Tiger is, the knowledge isn't enough, though. Takes 2, and now a 1-on-2.
It is winnable. It is winnable. He needed to peek that a little bit faster. You don't slow peek in this game usually.
Yeah. Tony Tiger with the ace, the first one we've seen this game. And it was the kill off onto... I'm blanking on the name right now, but... Yeah, the kill into Bucky, right, who was the catalyst for that. A great round for Tony on the Neon. I do know that character. My friend made a video about Neon. A montage, if you will.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the feedback. I appreciate it. And now we're switching sides. If I'm not wrong.
we did switch sides.
I see.
We're on the attack.
And Clark, the advantage has thinned down. Only a 7-on-5 game here.
7-5 is still strong.
Do you think they're going to take both pistols? That is something...
So what I had discussed with them before was their pistol attack. Just the simple part is
aggressive here, and it will be punished for it. Billowatts to take the first kill.
Absolutely huge. We're gonna see as they're pushing. We have a lot going on. It's a 4v5 in pistol round. They are up a person, so no matter what, they have the advantage. They know people are on site. They don't have. They have 2 flashes right now. Joey has 2 flashes. Has to flash to engage.
I see. Is B an option here too? If they couldn't find the thing.
B is an option. It seems like they walled off there, so they could absolutely rotate for B.
Bucky to kind of headshot on the
Bucky got another kill. Bucky has their mid control. For some reason, was looking the wrong way.
Does fall to Phaelus,
but it gives Typhon the chance to get on site. Typhon now has site control. The rest of the Clark Cougars should be on site with him. Should be clearing their angles properly because they absolutely have the advantage here still.
No, Tony is the lone one, but we know Tony can make it happen. It's Typhon to try to get that last kill. The knowledge is here, but will
Typhon knows. He knows. He knows exactly where he is now, and he is ready for it. Unfortunately, he's not ready anymore. He looked away, waiting for him to peek him, but he doesn't have to necessarily peek that.
It will be Joey, though, to take down Tony. And the 3-on-1, it's a little bit too much to ask for, I would imagine, especially on a pistol.
It is really hard. But if anyone can do it, it's
tell me
usually a
about
duelist.
this weapon here. We expected to see I've been told the Vandal is like what they go for the buy. What is this weapon?
So for the first 2 rounds of the game, you cannot get a Vandal, or you
Alright.
shouldn't be getting a Vandal.
Too much to ask
So what
for.
we're doing right now is we are half buying or forcing. We're forcing here, which is you buy whatever you can. We've got a couple Bulldogs on the team. Bucky has a Bulldog, a Guardian with Joey. That's T-Star. T-Star has the Spectre again, as always.
Yeah.
Joey has the Guardian, which is a one-tap headshot.
How detrimental, though, is a loss on the Force? Because that's going to I imagine that's going to shut your economy down for a minute.
A loss on the Force means that you lose the next 2 rounds, basically.
That does sound about right. Similar to Counter-Strike.
But
so,
they can't lose on the Force. It would be too bad.
Yeah, Bucky to find the entry on the little palms. And
so they engage here. What they need to do is clear all of sight, all these angles effectively and quickly. Because Typhon is ready to push. Our Viper is ready to push. The wall is up. He sees that. He's like, all right, let's get pushing. Let's get pushing, guys. Let's get sight control. We take sight control super quick, get kills while we're at it. And now it's a 2v4. Exactly what we want. Exactly what we need.
Lose one against the pistols, though. Any more is going to cost them on a Force. Wait to get a kill onto Bucky. And now Clark, the Force, is not strong.
Well, the Force, what the enemy team wants here is not to win the round. They want to get as many kills as possible.
Can we assume that both enemies have taken up those higher power weapons now, or are they still on pistols? I'm not sure.
They're still on pistols.
Right,
the Clark is holding their weapons for now.
It's gonna be a tough one to break through, but they're not looking the right way, I don't think. Joey finds the kill onto late, and now sight's open for the re.
It's not open. It is done. End of the round.
Oh, I wasn't looking at time. I gotta look.
And
at the
Clark killed everyone. Well, the timer's not at the top.
Is that something that you come away from that round as successful, right? Because you're losing people on the Force, and that's going to be a little bit costly, no?
So it is successful because now what they do is our team is choosing to force, but what you would standard do is you would buy what you can, half buy for the most part, just to get just barely enough for another round. Specifically so you can reset your buy for next round, which is just Vandal's full shields. What we have here, though, is a great opportunity to steamroll what they already have as their economy advantage and keep it going. Typhon is in a very aggressive angle alone. He should not have been that aggressive, and they did punish him for it.
Little palms with the shutdown, and now it's 3-on-3.
We have Billowatts here, our Brimstone, pushing alone. Brimstone is quite a good player. He knows that he cannot push this all the way, but he also knows they're not pushing his angle. They're not punishing him for holding this. So what he does is he tries to clear another angle, tries to get a kill, ends up getting the kill and putting them at the advantage. And now they have a crossfire with Joey and Billowatts.
But the advantage falls.
Billowatts does fall. T-Star is also ready for the setup. They are sitting here so calm, so collected, and they need to spread out now because something like that, one piece of utility, and the whole point was vulnerable.
Slowly
they
now,
were extremely
Velas
vulnerable.
drops, but it will be dropped as well. Dropped to the floor, that is, late, and gets the kill onto Joey. It's a one-on-one now.
Comes down to T-Star. T-Star should not push. T-Star should hide in the corner. Just wait forever. And he got me nervous there.
Mentally, a great play there from T-Star. A little bit shaky on the execution there, but the T-Star does find the win. And now it's 10-5. Clark in a good position. Take the 13, I imagine.
So T-Star, for those of us who weren't keeping up last semester as well, T-Star was the weakest player on the team because he had not played the game that much. But it's between these last 2 semesters he's been playing, there has been massive growth and improvement. He loves playing Sentinels. He's very passionate about it, and he's learning new Sentinels. Before was only Killjoy player.
And that's what we loved on the Clark Esports more than anything is watching our players grow and improve as they play with each other. It's one of the best parts of the organized play, I would say.
Yeah, it's especially great to see considering that the Valorant teams both don't have a coach. So all of this growth from T-Star has just been through playing and trying to understand and just being able to step
Shout
up.
out T-Star for that as we go into this next round. Oh, Valus.
They got to get a free kill there, but Bucky is stunned. They want Bucky dead. They want their trade. It's not going to happen as they flank. Got to watch the flank, or you got to push past it. Something has to happen.
Be aware of the flank, though.
Be aware of the flank for sure. Just make something happen while you're waiting for it. Because they are in an incredible position. As long as they are not stacking up on site. T-Star now can play defensively like he has been, basically being an anchor for the team.
Is there really much
but they don't need it because it's a 2v5. The enemy team cannot push, no matter what.
Any thoughts of a save here? I mean, oh wait, they just have pistols.
One of them just has a sheriff, and then the other one, while he does have a bulldog, he is not in a position to be able to push.
Ooh, but Craig finds the angle onto Typhon, and now it's looking a little shaky, especially with a 3-on-2, and late with the sheriff takes down Joey. Clark is crumbling, but Bill Watts is there to clutch up.
Bill Watts is there to help T-Star in his moment of need. Our Brimstone did clutch that round for the team.
It's shaky though, turning a 2 versus 5 into a 2-on-3.
It is very scary, but we did get a lot of damage on the Omen. It just came down to taking unnecessary 1v1s there. There was a slight delay with the double peek. I think it was Viper and Breach who peeked the Omen, and Omen was stunned. It was just a late peek or an early peek for the first player, and then the second player couldn't finish the kill, got too panicky. What I'm loving to see here is that they're going around the back, gonna stall out, trying to stall out some util by waiting for the push, while they go hit B really hard. B, as you can see, okay, Raze is going the wrong direction. Please turn around, Raze. The rest of the team is getting ready to push B into a 4v2.
The coach mindset is always funny to hear. Does Bill Watts see the little palms there? It looks like they do.
They are aware that they're there because that is a very good place to hold on defense. Yeah. You need to hold there. It looks like our team is rotating, which is good. We're going to be able to catch out this Neon on the on the flank. Neon was trying for a flank.
Looks like they're
and it's wasting utility as they run away. We should recognize that. Start pushing, because we heard them running. They were running and jumping. And there's one person on site. We did already trade, though, so it is a little nerve-wracking since we don't have any info. But Typhon is just here, able to get a kill. Now they know that B site is open because they did hear everyone leave, and they can see that site is open. We just need to decide to do something.
Yeah, it's now 4-on-3. Clark tries to hold on to this B point. Or not hold on, to try to get a good footing onto the B point, rather, as they plant the spike.
And we do. We have a great position. Right now, Typhon is not doing much.
Yeah, they do find Phaelus, so now...
They are up. It is a 3v2. They have to hold the position. There are two people holding this flank, but Bill Watts is now just waiting to ult. He knows that Typhon is holding him.
Tony to find T-Star, and now a 2-on-2, not in Clark's favor.
He needs to ult.
It's getting started.
He needs to ult and get a kill. He did get the kill. Does he also get the ult? The last kill, I mean.
Now into the clutch. The 1v1.
It is a 2v1. Ooh, and it is a free round.
A 1v1 for the moment. Bill Watts takes 2 and wins the round with the ultimate as well.
Very powerful. I do believe, yep, they only have one ult coming into this next round. Potentially 2 if Typhon can get an orb or 2 orbs. I would be playing for that ult right now for the retake and engaging with Breach ult. Set up with the Breach ult onto A site with Breach going main. You can have Typhon run with one buddy for the B orb on main, and then rotate around to get the orb on A main. And then once you push with the Breach ult, you can take site control really easily, maybe get a kill or 2, and then you can hold with the Viper ult. They did not do that. They pushed really fast with the Breach ult, which is also very valid because they did get a kill. They did get a kill for free. They got 2 kills for free because they're taking the 1v. The enemy team is taking the 1v1s that Clark Cougars want to see because that was into their crossfire.
And now they've got a great option onto this A site, 3 or 5 on them, 5-on-1, yeah.
And it was a flawless victory. Incredible job. They definitely showed their strengths there. There was a lot of improvements from what I saw last night. I saw a lot of things happening, one of the Cougars' weak points historically this season has been taking unnecessary 1v1s. And while it still happened there, it was much less common.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love the insights that you can provide from the coaching perspective. It's interesting to hear because you have so much knowledge of these players and what you expect them to do and also what they choose to do. Great. It's great to hear. We've never had like such a coach minded like thing. Well, what if you're Clark? There were rounds we lost there, rounds that might have been winnable. What would you tell them if you were in that coach's chair at the moment?
Well, I would just keep it simple. Just tell them to stop taking unnecessary 1v1s. I'd tell them that they gotta relax, never let their current position freak them out because it's always winnable.
Mm-hmm.
Simple things like that. Maybe if I was in their ear right now, I'd be like, all right, guys, here's what I noticed from last time with the Viper ult specifically. You guys had a Viper ult that you were close to getting. Instead of getting the orbs and playing it, you just went for the rush, which worked for them. It just would have been more stable to just hold that main and let them go get the orbs and then get that ult for the defensive hold after they get spiked down. Very small things like that, because overall they were playing very well, and I did not see much that they needed to improve upon.
Though there was that point when we were at the 7-5 mark, and we saw what started to look like a comeback on from the opponents. What did you think was the reason for that kind of lost streak that we saw early on, right before the half?
Well, I think the enemy team took the timeout very well. It was probably one of the best timeouts they could have used, and they definitely took advantage of it because when they came back, they were much more coordinated. They were more ready. They were playing off each other better, and it really just came down to that timeout. Maybe they have a coach in their ear. Maybe they just have someone who's a really good IGL, but whatever they did during that timeout is what they needed, and that the Cougars needed to adjust to. They do not have a coach. They did not use their timeout, so it was a rough adjustment. We will be back, though, since they are in a 5-minute bio break, and we will see you soon.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We are in a game. This map is, I believe this was our pick because if I remember right, we love Ascent here at Valor. Not Valorant. Here, yeah, here at Valorant. But specifically for the Cougars, we love Ascent. I remember playing this map a good bit. Historically, Clark Esports is quite good on Ascent. And I'm very, very excited to see that continue tonight. Our comp here, we are all hovering already. Not starting to lock in for dominance. This is a very standard comp for us. We have 2 duelists. T-Star is back on Killjoy. Killjoy is very strong for T-Star. I love to see it because T-Star is Killjoy. T-Star has been working on Killjoy for a whole semester. I've talked with T-Star a lot about Killjoy between last semester and last night. Just because Killjoy is so powerful, and T-Star, for the most part, the weak point was that they didn't understand Killjoy abilities. That is definitely not going to be an issue tonight because, as you saw with the Cypher, their setups right now for Sentinel are impeccable. I do see Joey on Reyna. That's going to be very interesting because Joey gets picks. They're now going to be able to take perfect 1v1s every single time with the Reyna heal ability. Billa Watts is on KO tonight. KO, historically, Yaksh is a very good initiator player. Playing KO, which is what they're more comfortable with compared to Brimstone, is also going to be really well to see. Yaksh did not smoke a lot last map, which is because they're uncomfortable with, or they're unfamiliar with smokes players compared to initiators. So this is going to let Yaksh be very in the zone in comfortable positions. You saw Bucky still on the Rays. That's the wrong team. They swapped sides on me. And it's going to be Typhon on Omen. Typhon is usually our smokes player. They're quite good at smokes. I've seen them smoking off where they needed to every time. And I'm very excited to see that to continue to happen. We're setting up here for an A push, just straight down main. Good decision. With only pistols, you basically want to bum rush a site. Just a 5-man rush a site. Because as you can see here, the defending team has no choice but to split up their team. Because if they stack one site, they're going to have to play retake for the other site. And that basically leaves the round up to a 50-50. Not the best. Especially when they have this position. But they know now that they're on this site. So the Cougars have to either go very fast and take this site before they rotate, or they need to give up and leave. And it looks like they're going to try to take it.
Yeah.
KO should flash out here as fast. Yep, absolutely flashed out. You know that they're detected. You know that they're there on site. You get a kill with, Bucky gets a kill as they start to plant, and they are up a player.
Yeah, Tony the Tiger, though, found one in the fray.
They did. We're getting the setup here for Killjoy, which is good to see. Very interesting. A lot is going on. A lot of chaos is happening.
They look at the high ground, though. That is Fatus to find one from that option. Bucky falling. And now finding 2. It's a lot rougher for Clark, but the 2-on-2.
Perfect 2-on-2. Like I said, Joey self-heal gave him the advantage in that fight specifically, but will always make it an even 1v1, and his aim is really good, as you could see there. He ended up getting a lot of damage off on that last player and a kill before that. Definitely a strong suit, and very good to see him on Reyna. I was going to pitch that last night, but he seemed very comfortable with what he was playing. I didn't.
They're going to go on the opposite side of the map now. Similar style
Absolutely.
of rushing. And there's only one person which could possibly stop, although they do have that lurker in the middle.
Yeah, their KO is watching through market.
I see. So they do have 2 on site as they push in here.
So I think this is the right decision for the Cougars.
But Craig is shut off. And now they've got a lot of wide open space here.
They are a little vulnerable, and they need to help Bucky with the push.
Yeah.
But they are on site. They're full site control, and it only cost them 1 person. Unfortunately, was their Sentinel player, but they could just as easily make up that player disadvantage with just 1 simple pick, as long as they are holding different angles.
Bucky has a lot of space to cover, but he does cover it well. Tony Tiger fall Bucky, and Typhon finds Craig. And now only 2 players from Buena Vista. But there's 2. Oh! Late doesn't want to fall this quickly.
It gives him a gun, but they did take it right back, only costing them one player, it looks like.
Yeah, it looked a little bit, Bucky was a little aggressive there, trying to take on, I think, more than they could chew. But Clark, overall, a really good push.
It is a little scary being that aggressive, but only because all that killjoy
you kind of want to go for those last two.
That too, but giving the enemy team a gun when they did not have any is just really bad. But overall, that B push was incredible. They knew they had the gun advantage. They knew that the enemy team's killjoy was going to be set up on B. They decided, hey, let's push this, figure out their setup when we know we can win the round. And they did. They won the round, and it was very good.
Looks like there might be some action on mid here.
There is going to be some. We do need the Omen smoke soon, though. Omen is not smoking for the team, so they're having a hard time to push. But Yaksh is also going for the delayed push to B, just trying to call someone out who might be rotating, maybe trying to flank.
Yeah, the killjoy I don't think is looking the right way. So if Yaksh can get in position,
does get some damage off. That is gonna do a lot of damage as he's pushing site alone. Does cost him his life, but now he knows that there's two people there, and he knows that the site is clear. Yeah. It gives the Cougars a good chance to rotate because now
the enemy that A push, but it's not happening. It's going to be
exactly
B site.
They're expecting the A push, and it unfortunately did cost two people, but we did get a jet for that.
Yeah, but look how open B is now, and they're all on the wrong side of the map. They've got a lot of room to play with.
Yep, as we go to plant the site. We are planting. We should be planting a lot quicker, but we are also going to get to set up with the killjoy here. As it is a 3v3, we do have the advantage with the setup opportunity, especially since we have a sentinel.
Different angles here as they walk in to B site.
Absolutely the right decision. I just want to see Reyna ready to play off this turret because that turret, it did go down for free, but it was able to get some damage off. We are able to get something going on, but Typhon is stunned and known in location.
Late takes down two.
Unable to do anything until he got a kill anyways. He has to shoot the spike. We should be pinging for him. Unfortunately, they are going to win. The enemy team is going to win around here.
Great play from Late, though. Definitely a great entry onto the site. It's always rough to have to go into somewhere where everyone is all set up. But he makes it work, and the diffuse coverage is also a smart play there. But not much Clark can do in the back. So a hard loss, but I mean it's a way to learn. Now 2-on-1, Clark's win streak comes to a close.
Yeah, the 2-win streak. It's hard to see it go, but we do have a chance to bring it back here. We have even guns. That was their bonus round for the most part, so it is fair that they lost that. The enemy team did have to cheapen their buy a little. One of their players only has a shotgun and half shields. Although we also have the similar thing as Spectre and half shields, but we have more range because of it. We have a chance to call out the Omen here
they're
pretty
definitely not
easily.
Expecting this type of push from Clark because they still have two on that B side. The knowledge isn't there.
Two on the B side, definitely the right call, especially with the stronger killjoy setup.
Someone in the back.
We are not clearing our angles, and it cost us 3 people right off the start.
Bayless with that close hold catches Clark off guard and Late to finish them off. It's a hard one, but the knowledge couldn't have been passed close enough. All in too slow.
That definitely the solution there was just having 2 people peek at the same time and clear each other's corners. Just a communication issue, simple as that. If Clark takes a timeout, they need to fix that. They need to talk about that and address it.
Looks like they're going to go for the B option this time.
It is very valuable for the B push. Their killjoy seems to be too reliant on U2 because overall as individual setup, they are not doing...
They need to be wary, though, of where killjoy is. It's a angle they might not expect. And we know those unexpected angles can have serious consequences.
It's actually a really good position for Clark if they can recognize it because what Killjoy is doing is giving up all of her util to just be broken, which would just turn it into a simple character without any abilities.
That's true. They don't have the support of their team. It's shut down. Tony Tiger to even it out, though. But again, they're on low health.
Now, Killjoy has a great chance to set up. We now know that they're all market because they broke the bot. That is the calm. We know that. Let's see how we play off it.
This position from T-Star. They're going to be in the right spot, but Late finds them. It looks like it will be Buena Vista. Only one left. They do take them down. Late has been really great on these retakes. I mean, especially on the B site. They get the not only do they get the entry, but they can follow it up often too. I mean, it's quite impressive.
It is. Their attacks this round, or their retakes specifically, have been strong, which does show that their attacks are going to be quite good. And we're going to take a second during this timeout just to give us a break. All right, here we are back again. We are watching the wrong team as we are going for the A push again. What we want to see here is a return to the first round. Just a 5-man push down main. Yep. That is their strongest chance of winning. Maybe Killjoy.
And this is a bad setup on the for Buena Vista. They only have one person who's going to be on the A site here.
True, but what we do is we need to push
look
fast.
At this flank, though. This flank could catch them off guard in mid.
We used utility. They know that we're here now.
To take them one.
They used utility, actually, so we're fine. But we do have a pick. We're looking to get another. Billowatts did some damage, gets out for free. Not too bad.
Knowledge gained as
we are pushing. We should push so fast here. We are about to actually lock someone down. We need to be pushing already. We pushed a little too late.
But Clark does make their way into the site now, and they only have that high ground to contend with. Though, do they know that's where they're going to be coming from? That is the question.
They should. Absolutely know.
Bucky to take down Craig, but Tony Tiger evens the score. And Tony Tiger with 2. It's now 3-on-2, 3-on-1 to Clark. As they
should be pinging the spike.
The defuse, though, coming through. Steps off of it for a second, though. Billowatts has maybe some room to play with, but not quite. Tony Tiger.
Unfortunately, yep, not enough.
He said there that they didn't quite get into sight fast enough. Do you think that's a communication or?
I think that they're scared right now. They should not be scared.
It is scary though because a lot of players alive and they would have no way of knowing that they aren't all just on the high ground there on the site.
Well, so what they did know when they used that Killjoy ult, immediately they knew that everyone was gonna be leaving sight, and in the last 5 seconds. You basically get to walk onto site for free with that location.
Okay, so that changes things. It was a little bit delayed there, but the delay, I don't know, it gave them room to push up on them, but...
It did give them way too much time. Last round, or last map, we saw a lot of...
What are we going on here? It looks like we have 3 going on to B, but the spike...
So we're playing a default here, which is just, we're waiting out their utility, their guns, hoping to get a pick at the best case scenario, but overall just waiting for their abilities to be worn down so that we can find out everything that's going on, where each person is,
I see,
what the state of the game is looking like, and then how we can play off that.
Yeah,
we are pushing site alone, so there is some communication issues going on.
Entry out of both sides somewhat simultaneously. Probably going to get them confused, know where to rotate for those mid players. And site looks somewhat secure on B side, but they don't have the spike there.
We completely didn't hold that market there, which is very confusing because we knew there was someone there. We definitely could have killed him.
Craig finds one, and now many fall. Clark in a tough spot. Spike is coming in, but so is the rest of the team now onto B.
Yeah, right now it's a very tough position.
Does find one. Not too much for their kill though. They're able to take one down, but rough ground for Clark. Although preventing the flawless, that's something, right?
It is something. It does help. Right now, if we're looking at the economy, you can see the enemy team has a lot of money, except Tony the Tiger, who has a normal amount of money.
Interesting. Is that the scout equivalent?
It is.
They're running with?
They're running the Marshal on Bucky, which is good.
Lone warrior on Bucky, and the rest will go for the kind of. I mean, I wouldn't call it a full save. They're going for the sheriff, right? That's what that one's called.
It is. Yeah, that's the sheriff.
So a bit of a half buy here for Clark. They don't want to have no weapons as they look to go for this A site.
Yeah, for the most part, just a standard
save
round.
Hold. They noticed the flank coming from B last a couple rounds back, and now they have one person on there with their eyes on that. Mid is always an option.
Yeah, well, right now we're just seeing a lot of panic. I think it's a lot of freaking out on the Clark side.
Well, there's a lot to freak out about. It's understandable.
They just need to have a little more patience, and they're winning.
Bucky finds one in mid, the headshot into Krieg. Now it's a 4-on-5. And Bucky to make their way onto the site as Clark falls suit. But the sheriffs aren't enough for the Vandals. Tony the Tiger to take down 2. And with the Vandal, Bucky does find 1. It's even scoreboard, but do they know where Phalis is?
We should. We did hear him jump off. I'm not entirely sure what's going on.
But it works out. But Phalis, still unknown, catches them off guard. And now...
He really should have been known. I don't know what happened there.
Aggressive pick is not fruitful. Phalis to take Typhon. And now what looked like a clear Clark victory is a 1-on-1. And Billowatts shut down as well. That's a rough one to lose, but great play by Phalis. Able to be in a very sneaky spot. They didn't expect him to be there. They didn't think to clear it, and was able to take down 3. That's a play to be proud of. And Buena Vista, I'm sure, are all patting him on the back for that one. Rough one if you're a fan of Clark, but, you know, it always happens. I like to give props where props are due.
That's fair. It just should have been a 1 round. It was a 3v1, but we gave them 1v1s for no reason. We ended up doing some goofy stuff because for no reason. There was no reason to do it. There was no benefit at all, and it ended up costing us the round.
Remember, it was also pretty much a save round. So I mean, you aren't expecting to get too much, and even the kill Bucky got on the scout is enough to say, well, we did something that round.
Well, that's true, but you had the chance to win the round.
Yeah, there was definitely the chance there. But coming away from it, all things considered, it's a fruitful... Taking down 4 people on the half-buy isn't something to be ashamed of.
It's not, but...
Late with an early pick on the Bucky.
It's just showing their bad habits, letting the enemy team is just clearly taking advantage of Clark's bad habits.
Yeah, mid looks like a dangerous place to be now.
They saw one heaven. They know that for sure.
Typhon to take one, though, and Spike going down. Joey sees
They still know one heaven. Unfortunately, could not get
late.
A kill.
Does find Tony, though, so it's not hope lost, although the retake is going to have to be...
We should not use the alt here.
Yeah, they don't have time.
Yeah, unfortunate. This was a little bit closer. I'm seeing some improvement.
Yeah. There was a moment there where the 1-on-2 happens onto the high ground, and they do make something happen, but it's a lot of bullets to get out in a short amount of time, and they don't have the teammate there because they have to plant the spike. It's a rough situation. 2-7 now. Not looking too hot for Clark, but, this is a place where you can come back. What are we looking at on economy? Is there any gripes there, or are we smooth sailing?
So if we press tab here, we can see the economy. We have guns.
Oh, with Clark.
This is the last chance for Clark.
This is their last buy for a minute.
Absolutely. If Clark can't win this round, then they do not have money for sort of the rest of the half.
Yeah, they're going all or nothing, though, into this A site. Very aggressive, and it's not fruitful.
It's not.
To take down 3, and now 2-on-3 for Clark. 2-on-5 for Clark. Apologies.
It is winnable. We have seen T-Star get a lot of value so far. Not as much on this map. He should be...
They don't expect the flank, though. That's scary.
They don't.
T-Star looking to make something happen, though.
Typhon should get called out here. And someone should have died. I'm very confused how they didn't die. T-Star didn't even get shot. But now Typhon dies.
No spike.
I'm not sure why they split up there. The rotate was the good call. Typhon should have absolutely followed T-Star.
Can T-Star get any monetary gain, though? That's the last
option. T-Star has to save here. Just play for picks. That should be the calm. The team should be yelling at him to play like that, just waiting for him to get pushed. The enemy team is being very confident. They actually, in fact, know where they are.
Quite specifically, even. It's now Phaelus and late to take down T-Star, and the save doesn't even come through for Clark.
He did have the chance to move. It's just they're getting hope. Yeah. They're feeling hopeless.
There was fear that moving into the B site would be moving into the crosshair of someone on Buena Vista, though.
That's true, but they didn't even have the opposite side of that smoke covered, or even in the smoke. You could have hid that ability Breach used to kill him there. T-Star is not actually a wide range ability. It's pretty big, but it's not as big as you'd think. He definitely had enough space to move, and it's just it was just hopelessness. And I think that they should call a timeout, or they can't call a timeout.
Clark doesn't have much.
Clark does not have a timeout. They're gonna have to just wait for the half to reset their mental.
In terms of utility or weapons, that is. Although they do save up for the SMG for Bucky, so they noticed the jiggle.
They did see the jiggle. The jiggle was huge. It told them that there were 2 people, so they need to move. And that's what they're doing. They need to move because they got seen, and they are moving very fast.
Now for Clark. They're a little bit split, but it looks like the B will be the correct option, which is the better one for sure. Only one on site there. But Bucky to find 1 as they try to rotate from A. Can they sneak and find 2? No. And now Tony from the back is going to take down Clark.
Yeah, it did take out almost all of our
Joey
team.
Now in a tough spot.
Joey's the last one alive.
Anything here would be of value.
He really just needs
Tony, though.
to get a kill.
That's as much as you can really do there. Joey getting a kill.
Yeah.
And tough round for Clark after many tough rounds to, come from. Sorry, I'm losing words.
Yeah, me too. I feel the same way. This is a hard map to watch because how well they did last time.
Mm-hmm.
But this is Nationals. Both teams playing are very strong with their own maps. It seems like
Personally, I'm a believer, so I don't care what anyone says. I think Clark has it in the bag. And by the way, guys, this is a neutral casting, so I love both teams equally.
Of course.
I'm a huge Buena Vista fan. I love Colorado. Shout out Buena Vista.
So what we are aiming for here is definitely just to win a couple more rounds, maybe one more round until the half. Taking it 9-3 is better than leaving it 10-2, because Clark has a much stronger defense side. Even though we're running 2 duelists, the Killjoy anchoring one entire site would give T-Star a lot more value to where right now he's not getting much value on the attack.
The smoke, though, is always an issue because it allows them to get behind them, it looks like. So they kind of get stacked up in that spot as they're entering to A. And while that happens, Buena Vista is kind of going for the flank.
So what...
And they got 2 sides to worry about.
Yeah, well, we're doing right now what our mistake is waiting. Because we have used an alt, we have flashes, so many flashes, so much utility to engage on. The 1 smoke should not stop us, especially after we ult.
Though, so there's a lot of things to worry about. People could be in any position.
But the enemy team is now just playing for retake. Our job is to hold as much as possible. Our Reyna did take a lot of damage from that, but I don't know why we pulled out our bomb bot there, because that was the wrong call.
Oh, but they do take down
T-Star got a kill. And Yox got a kill, our KO. Oh, both players got a huge kill. That could decide the round.
3-on-3, 2-on-2. That is.
There was like a half a second there where
Now
he could have
T-Star
gotten out, but
only
it's a
one.
1v1. And T-Star
Makes
got
it
the kill. They need a
happen.
pink spike for T-Star so he can
Now-
spam it. T-Star does not know because the team is not spamming it for him.
But they get off the defuse though.
T-Star! Oh, he almost died.
I'm not sure what happened there, but T-Star does make it work.
That was so scary. T-Star was missing a lot of shots there, but the enemy team realized T-Star didn't have to hit any shots to win. He just had to keep them off
spike. At the end of the day, no one remembers how many shots you missed. They remember the shots you hit, and T-Star hits the shots that count.
T-Star hit the shot that mattered.
Clark ends the long-term win streak of Buena Vista, and now a little bit more confidence, I would say, as they look for this next A push.
So, yeah, we're watching Killjoy here for the setups. The Killjoy setup is not perfect, of course, because Killjoy should not be playing in Boathouse. Killjoy should be playing somewhere near the turret. Right where they're playing right now actually is perfect. They got a little help from Yaksh, who told them exactly where they should play. Killjoy and KO's job here both are to peek off the turret if they're pushing. Unfortunately, they are on A site, but that doesn't matter because we got 3 people here. They should be playing for retake. They know that they need to play for retake here because any time that they die on site, even if it's a trade, is going to be worse off on their retake.
There is no B-anchor though, so if they feel like they're waiting too long, the rotate could happen.
They do have a strong B setup.
It's interesting to see them play against the same strategy employed on them, but that smoke gets cleared, and now site wide open.
So we're on site alone here,
like
Joey.
They will go for that rotate.
And they are going for the rotate because
take out Bucky.
What the enemy team has right now is they realize they did a lot of damage. They used a lot of abilities to get onto that site. And because they didn't take the site, they're going for the rotate to try to hope that there is nothing set up on B site and that they can take it a little easier.
Clark's in a rough spot, though, but Billowat's trying to even score. A kill onto Craig is very fruitful for them.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we did just lose our Killjoy, which means our whole Killjoy setup is gone, but they do know exactly where they are now.
Yeah, it will be the A plant. And Joey finds
We did get a kill. Time to reload, Joey. Reload. Beautiful. Because now
3, I believe, Joey.
It is possible with Reyna because all of these 1v1s, you're going to have the orb.
That's true.
Or at least for one of them.
Slow and steady, clearing those angles. They seem to have some idea, but they're worried about that flank.
He knows that there's not a flank. He knows that he just needs to clear these angles one at a time.
And they aren't able to connect. Tony does take them down, and the 1-on-3 dream doesn't come to fruition. Clark now a little bit less of they're not off the back of that round win, so they gotta keep thinking. Do they go back to the drawing board, you think, or they run something that they've found to be fruitful in the past?
So what Clark's gonna do here is they're going to realize that the enemy team is gonna do exactly what they're doing. What they should realize. They have a buy. They're gonna push the Killjoy on B site, knowing that the Killjoy is set up, and they're going to take what should be a win to familiarize themselves with how Killjoy is setting up. And what they're going to take from that is whether or not Killjoy is a weak point or not. Because if Killjoy is a weak point, they're not going to be able to push this site successfully. They're going to be able to do a lot. They're going to get that turret off, and they're going to be able to push site because of it.
They move into B now, and they've got a good hold on to it.
Yep, that turret is out of play. The bomb bot, unfortunately, got no value. They need to stop peeking with utility really bad. Like I told them last night.
Though does find Tony off guard, but late and with a response to 2. And now a difficult retake for Clark. Billowat's, though, wants to make it happen. They find late. Do they know where Craig is, though? They do. They find Craig, but that's about all they take away from that round.
Still some value. Still got some kills.
That's true.
Again, they are a slightly heavier defense-sided team here. They have a lot more stability just because their Sentinel player is much more familiar with how to play on defense. To see it happen here would be incredible because their whole win condition is going to be reliant on Killjoy anchoring B site and being able to hold this. And I like this setup a lot better. They realized that they knew their setup, and they just made a minor adjustment to call it off. They know now that there's no one going to be pushing B. Yeah. KO has a good chance to go hold mid for now. Seems like that's going to be the choice. Just
here might find late. They do see, but no connection.
They do see them. Unfortunately, we did lose someone because of it.
There's a big mid stack here, though. Billowatts doesn't seem to contest it, although this could be a great play for Typhon. Tony still seems to know something's up. But still, the kill comes through, and now late does not want to approach that shotgun. But a long-range duel is not what Phalos had in mind. We'll take down with the SMG. Bucky to connect with the pistol. And now a 3-on-2 for Clark. A retake for the ages.
It is winnable because Clark does have 2 people at full health. There's damage on 2 of them.
Bars.
All that you need is Yox to hit a couple shots on this KO coming up.
Ooh, he does find Craig.
Now, both people on the enemy team are low on health. You do not want the bookie here. You want to keep playing with the Ghost because the Ghost is going to give you the range that you need to hit the shots.
Fight for Clark, but they need to know that someone is not where they might expect him to be late in that off position. The push needs to come in soon as that bomb's taken down. But do they know where anyone is? Phalos catches them off guard and late secures the kill on the T-Star. It was a good retake attempt, but again, they didn't have the knowledge of where those sites were held, so it was a very scary place to be. And once you're in the open, you don't have the option to go around and check for everything. So Clark now, it'd be a huge comeback. They might be looking forward to that next map, if I had to guess.
It is possible to come back still. It would take a lot of focus. Clark, it was playing better individually, and it was just a matter of getting picked off in 1v1s. That's been their weak point this whole time.
Bucky
it's still happening.
Find something early though, late, right in the open. The shots connect, and Bucky finds late an early entry for Clark. A much better start to the match than we've seen previously. Craig now is up to the plate, and Joey a kill of their own onto Tony. Clark now on the 5-on-3. Now a 3-on-4, but still an advantage nonetheless. And Typhon to find the kill onto Craig. Looking good for Clark. Do they want to do anything here with the spike? They're creeping up into B site, but Joey's got their number. I mean, he knows exactly what's going on here, and he's probably gonna be able to catch Phalos off guard.
So you've seen here, Joey's got really good game sense. He's been aiming at this Omen this whole time. Just has no idea he's there.
Finds Phalos and knows there's more than one.
Absolutely. That was the perfect comp. You just spray through the smoke. A little high there. He should have just been taking shots through the smoke that whole time because they called him out for it, and it ended up winning them the round.
Billowatts does find Little Palms back in mid, and they secure the round. It's not 13 yet, and Clark still wants to make something happen here on Ascent.
So these players are all really good. They know how to play the game. It's just about being confident in it right now, right? If they were confident, they would be winning all these rounds. I promise you.
We saw that confidence from Joey. They had the knowledge, and they executed very well.
They knew
it was a great play there.
They almost were tracking the Omen, even though they couldn't see them. They knew exactly where they were.
We don't have sound, but I imagine a sound does play a factor in there. You can possibly hear the footsteps. I don't play this game, so I don't know how well you can tell through where people are from that factor. But Craig with an early pick.
But they did get the KO.
Yeah.
The KO's dead.
The entry here
with the ult. Unfortunately, they were chased by the jet. They didn't see that.
Now is in position. And Clark has a good chance of doing this, even though the bomb has gone down. The retake will come earlier than...
Because it's Joey and the Sentinel player, which gives the engage. Reyna's now on site with Killjoy, and they know where Omen is. Omen hasn't planted yet.
But they don't make it happen. Joey with the final kill, and Clark, they don't want to give up yet.
That's the engages that we need. Every round that they can get their confidence back. That what happened there was that their retake happened quick. They backed up, gave them the space, only lost one, and traded for a bunch of damage. It let them get the retake, very strong, very powerful retake. That also happened at just the right time. When someone was planting the spike and they knew that they were up a person in guns, which let them get a free kill real quick. They backed up, stabilized, gave a second to regain the advantage, then re-hit again with the real numbers advantage, and that let them win the round. Even though they didn't all get kills, it was worth it because they were able to trade every single person. KO is very aggressive here. Has to be playing more passive, at least a little bit, just
they
because
do have knowledge now of that stack, so
they do. And it's very good. You just got that with the knife, though. He just could have backed out earlier. I appreciate and respect the knife throw early. But once you have that, you chill, relax.
The early pick onto mid gives some confidence, but Clark doesn't have a lot of room to play with. Remember, they're one away from the loss, so they've got to do everything perfectly here. They're playing a very surgical game at the moment.
Absolutely. A lot of strength, though, I'm seeing. As they're up a person, they're just holding their sights, holding their sight lines, having patience, and they're getting rewarded for it as Yox gets 2 kills back to back, takes out their duelist.
Great play from Billawatts there. And now, Buena is in a struggle here. They don't want to do this entry, but the rotate might not be feasible at this point.
The rotate is impossible at this point. They do have to commit to the save. But what I see here is our buddies Yox and Raze holding a crossfire. Very simple crossfire, but very effective. They know that they're going to push, and they know that they can just kill them for free. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. The double peek, though, did work surprisingly well. They found 2, but again, Joey in the back there was able to shut them down.
The double peek always works. That is exactly what Clark should do. They should see that and remember that forever, because Clark Cougars have not been able to do that successfully yet in a match. They see that happen now. They see how effective it is. They see how it's played in real time correctly, and now they have that piece of that nugget of knowledge forever.
That's true. Grow and learn. I'm sure the coordination will only improve, and we'll see Clark pull off some amazing team play as we continue this series.
Just 6 more rounds. 6 more rounds. I know Libby's in the chat with saying 6 more rounds.
On the Craig, though, that's going to cost them.
Such an early pick.
Might be a lot for an off.
It is possible to get a 2-man kill with the operator.
But Joey's there to help out.
Joey is there to help out. Typhus should just be holding it. Should just be holding there as long as possible.
Find another.
Because he has his ult. He can just get out for free. Even though he didn't need to use his ult, he just used his his teleport, which is another way to get out very quickly and easily. He just knows he's on 1 health and should just be...
but not scoped in time. Lil Palms take him down, but Billawatts there.
Did give up the scope. The only issue there was giving up the scope. Yeah. Like I said, a lot of panic going on, but they are able to win the round because even though it is 12, it's been 12 for the enemy team a long time, they are tightening up.
12-3 at some point?
It was 12-3. But we have won 4 rounds in a row. We only need 5 more to make it go into overtime.
And while it's scary to be that 1 loss away, every round you win here isn't just, to get to that 13. You're also getting a lot of confidence back. Losing second round, second map, you lose drastically, something like 13-2. You lose a bit of confidence. So evening the scoreboard a little bit, even if it doesn't come away with a victory, is always a good thing for the mental. So that's helpful for Clark.
Absolutely, and it's just showing off their potential.
Once again, the operator is fruitful.
If I was typing, I would TP out right now.
But Bucky takes 2.
Bucky did get 2. That was incredible. I think the Killjoy used ult there. If I was seeing that, never mind. Not the Killjoy.
And Bucky here, he wants to make a montage. He takes 3.
He is blind. Oh, unfortunately did not get the blind spray kill. The blind spray kill I always respect and love to see. It would have been incredible. T-Star has a pretty impressive flank going on.
Phaelus, the last one surviving, but we've seen what he can do. 2 kills already.
We do know exactly what the strengths and weaknesses are of each player at this point, and it's really good to see.
Phaelus with 3rd.
T-Star was low health, I believe. Did get some
into this point.
Damage off, but
they have time. Oh, but the spike.
They have spike control, so it's the end of the round. Omen
rough.
Is going to use their ult if they can. I believe they're going to go for orb here, as you can see. TP on to spike. Right now, I think KO or Yox or Yak, KO, is realizing that and starting to reposition.
Very smart.
Absolutely was right on top of it. Bucky was a little bit slower to react to that,
I
but
don't think they're going to expect him to be here so soon as well. So
that is exactly the benefit to realizing that early. They do not expect you to be there that quick. And if Yax just waits for Bucky to push together, they have a really solid push here with the advantage.
He has an idea of where he might be as well. So this could be.
He does know exactly where he needs to be, and he does see that he's there. You would be spraying I would be spraying the smoke right now. He should be spraying the smoke.
I like the patience, though. You know where they are, and you could spray, but you don't know for sure. So Bilawaz takes the safer option, which is important to do when you're so close away from that 13.
Usually, yes, just because the Omen was 1 health in this situation.
Oh, that's true.
And he had a Phantom, which, if you don't know, the Phantom you actually can't see if you shoot through smokes. You can't see the bullet tracers.
A1S from Counter-Strike. I like that. No tracers.
Had no clue what that is, but that's also really interesting to note. But it is similar, yeah. So yeah, no bullet tracers.
I gotta take the similarities where I can get them, because that's the only way I'm casting this match is based off Counter-Strike knowledge.
Totally fair. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of overlap to this game and CS:GO.
Mm-hmm.
We have a really good mid hold here. We did give it up. I don't like that at all, because we want to hold the mid. We want to make sure they're not pushing mid, so that our Omen here, he's like, hey, bro, I just want to hold this. Is there anyone coming mid to help me? Joey did help Typhon cross. Typhon is in a really awkward spot. He needs to use a TP somehow to reposition. I do not like him in Boathouse with the operator, but his team does have him for now. Unfortunately, we are down 2. KO did use his ult and might have a chance to get resurrected here.
Clark now needs a miracle on the retake. It's 2 against 5, that is, because of the res. Or is that what happened? Either way,
it did.
2 against
KO,
5.
it wasn't a res. KO, when he ults, he can be brought back up.
The last hope for Clark, but it's a flawless victory. And what was going to be a 13-3 is now a 13-8. As I mentioned earlier, that's a good thing, you know?
It's a lot better than a 13-3. There's a lot of room to come back. Mm-hmm. And we will be right back.
See you in a minute. back.
Welcome back, guys. So, I was thinking about it while I took a second to regroup, and we're about to get the ready. But really quick, I do think, personally, Clark is the better team. They're playing better. But the enemy team is taking advantage of two very specific but potent weaknesses on Clark's behalf. One of which is the fact that they are taking a lot of 1v1s. The enemy team is noticing that and just waiting for Clark to take the 1v1 so they can get a free pick and turn the 5v5 into a 4v5.
Mm-hmm.
The other big issue has come down to us holding angles. We are holding angles and then giving them up really quickly.
I see. You got the professional coach knowledge live from the Whisper Room. So we got a lot more info than I'd be able to give you. So I'm glad Minever is here to give you such an important insight into the mindset of Clark as they go into this third map. And I think, as Shifty mentioned, that was a very good attempt. I think Clark's got a good shot at this next map. We're going to be playing Split. What can you tell us about Split, Minever?
So Split is interesting. Before on Split, the Clark team was playing Astra, which if you don't know, Astra on Split, probably not overall, but on Split specifically, is one of the weakest agents on Split in the entire game. The only one worse is Harbor, but Harbor, as far as I'm aware, is still in a terrible spot. He is not a good character for the in the meantime, like right now. Although I have a lot of fun on Harbor, you know, the professionals are like, this guy is not good. So much so, it says here on Split specifically, he has less than 20% pick rate. I believe this is pick rate. Oh, sorry. It might be win rate.
Pick rate, I feel like 20% is quite high for a pick rate.
Well,
with
it's
how many heroes there are, right?
It's pretty low. Well, this website, the Meta SRC, I'm not, or ooh, I don't know if I can say that.
We're on the wrong cam for that, but.
Oh, perfect, because I wasn't supposed to show them that anyways. So what I'm looking at here is Meta, a website that goes over the meta, and it is like the good characters on this map, specifically Split, have like over 90%.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, or like over 90 score, I should say, and Harbor's down at a sub 20.
Well, let's see what they pick as we load into this next map.
So we did talk briefly about Split last night. This is the map where they were pushing me as a 5-man and my one person, and I punished them really hard for peeking 1v1s over and over again. And I'm really looking to see our B pushes happen more coordinated with a lot less 1v1s being taken. And I also gave them a few lineups with utility, which I'm going to see if they're using at all. I'd be very excited to see this happen. Another thing to note is that their lineup or their comp here is really good. Or not anymore, because they are swapping Astra for the comfort pick.
I see both teams have Tijo, which I just looked up the name of. What can you tell me why they're going for that?
Well, Tejo.
I apologize. I literally just looked up what the name of this character is. So.
Yeah, of course. Tejo is very good right now. He is overall a very good pick, and I think they are realizing that and just
so it's not
feeling
like a
comfortable.
Specific thing, or
he is pretty good on the map specifically. I believe he's like an A tier pick, which is not like the best, but it's pretty good. He's up there. I think personally, I would have loved to see the Reyna here, admittedly, because Reyna is very powerful on Split. Just has a lot to abuse. And this is slightly different than what we talked about last night, but I am very excited to see it because Cypher has tripwires to cover the flank for any push, and Cypher also has an incredible setup on B site. A lot of very easy and incredible setups to set up on E site for defense. But what we're seeing here is the Clark Cougars on attack. Their attack, they're going to just run right through garage, peek the angle on B. They should be clearing left to right, or right side with abilities, left side with their guns, and then have a few people hold down main with their pistols. That should be their pistol default. Let's see what happens. Obviously, I can say that because there's a 3-minute delay. If there wasn't, I would be giving the comp strategy, to the entire team. But we do know this. They are pinging on the site, as you can see. They are ready for it, it looks like. It looks like they're going to nade in the back site over there, which will clear it automatically, and then they'll be able to push still the same way.
See.
They are going to use the breach util, it looks like, oh, that's the flash coming out. But it looks like they are going to use it to push. They're sending out their alarm bot to clear site. Or not their alarm bot, but their utility bot from Tejo to clear site, which is what we practiced what we were seeing last night when we were together. There are 3 people on site. They did get a kill. Very good. Turns it into a 3v1. We're seeing Yox pushing alone again. Does get a kill for it.
Yeah, and Clark does get punished, though. 1 to take down. And now it's a 3 versus 3. Turned into a 3 versus 1. A rough final stand.
Still winnable. Unfortunately, Joey was in a bad spot there. Very awkward spot. But I'm seeing a lot of potential.
A lot of good ideas, I would say.
That was their pistol default. Pistol defaults are really hard. What it comes down to is taking site control effectively and then just being able to position right to hold it.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, their retake position, they can't get into their normal position fast enough, which is why they're struggling on attack.
And now they have the force to contend with. It looks like will be a force buy from Buena.
Not a force buy. They are buying. It is a little bit of a force because they have to buy. Because they have the guns advantage this round guaranteed. Our Cougars are realizing that and being like, I don't want to waste money on guns. I'm not going to use it. And they're not buying guns. They're just going to go play for damage, play for guns.
Well, let's see what the pistol does and how fruitful it can be.
So Yox just pushing alone here. Really scary because it is not too good.
But the site is pretty heavy coverage, though, and now late.
Site is clear. We get a free plant, which is good for money. We still should be planting.
Doesn't look like.
We did get the plant off. That is free money.
But Clark will fall pretty quickly. So
and we did get 1 kill.
Honestly, 1 kill, bomb down. I would say that's pretty fruitful against that pretty heavy force.
Yeah, it's going to put us in the green for a while. Everyone can full buy on our team now. These first 2 rounds were a bit of a wash, but they absolutely have the chance to come back here. They have the gun advantage.
See now how Clark decides to approach it now that they have the armory on their side. Looks like it's going to be a B push, one lurking on the other side.
It does. We got a pretty strong B mid push. It looks like Tejo and Rays are going to clear heaven and escort the Cypher there, while Breach is making presence.
Not free, though. 1 to contend with. But Bucky shuts them down quickly, and now mid open outside of the rotate, which could catch them off guard here. They need to be mindful of late. But they decide to go the other way, and now Clark has a good entrance into the B side from multiple sides.
They do, and there is only one person who is able to contest them, which Yox right now is anchoring down.
And Joey making work with 2 kills. And now Clark in a very good spot. Only 1 more to contend with. And they do it without
They end up
much
getting
damage at
all the kills, which is incredible because that's their buy round. They obviously can rebuy if they need to, but they don't want to. They want to keep stacking the economy and let it snowball.
It'd be 2 to 1, but the economic advantage is definitely on the side of Clark this time around. And it looks like they want to do something similar, but this time on the other side of the map as they're setting up for the A push.
So obviously in terms of economy, if Clark wins a round here, they also win the next round. If they win this round, they win next round because the enemy team will not be able to buy guns. And as we've seen, if Clark has more guns, Clark will win the round. They're using utility early. They did just get cleared. They should rotate. They should rotate right now. They need their IGL to be like, guys, let's rotate. We just got full scene. The enemy team is going to start rotating any second now. They're ready to rotate.
And the rotates do seem to come through.
The rotates are not coming through.
Oh, but we do have a flank. Potentially a flank.
I don't.
Looks like they're just trying to cover any possible rotate to B.
It
They
does.
do want to stick with that A site though, but they have little palms. A few others to be wary of. Bucky here, not quite ready to make a move, but here it comes. Will be the util. A bit of a jump onto the high ground, an aggressive position, not quite working
Very
out.
aggressive.
Little palms shut down 2 and late to follow. Clark now with 1 left alive. Not much that can be done here, but possibly a kill. Tony Diz taken down.
They can get a couple more kills. I think this is a really good position.
I like this a lot from Typhon. And
he did peek completely blind.
Yeah, you can't really take on 3 at once, but the kill there is
definitely not 3 at once while you're blind, but he was in the good spot. They had to peek him. He had the angle down. He knew that it was all 3 there and that there wasn't anyone else. If he had just held it for a little longer and then swung, I think he would have been in a great position.
Definitely doing the best with a bad hand there, if I had to say so myself. It looks like there's going to be a B attempt this round, and I think we're going to see a similar mid to B probably.
Economy has now
although
equalized.
The mid to B is going to be a little bit less free this time because they've got 2 eyes on that mid push. But that eyes are shut because Bucky shuts them down. Tony the Tiger to fall, and now Clark.
They do have to devote a person due mid now to hold. Bucky could either clear this or he could get killed trying to clear. I think he should regroup with the team, go for the B push. Clark needs to be more decisive in their pushes. If they have the advantage, they push a site. That's what should be happening.
The advantage grows as Typhon takes one, but Late wants to even the score, taking them down, and Craig now evens it to a 3v3, and Bucky doesn't seem to be aware of this enemy.
He did see the smoke. He should have known he was there or to look in that direction. Unfortunately, did not.
But Joey's here to even the score, and in a good spot as well. They don't have the bomb, but they're definitely gonna be able to catch the rotate here. I don't think they're gonna expect this, although it does seem they are aware. Yeah, Joey falls to Late, but again, a long way to walk for the bomb. So time in favor of Clark in this 1v2.
Unfortunately, nothing else in favor because T-Star does have the classic, which maybe if he can get a kill right here, he's looking in a horrible spot. I don't know what
you have, and that's what T-Star did. Pistol wasn't going to be too fruitful, but they do. It was a good attempt for Clark. And again, I mean, it's only 4-1, right? What has the eco? Not in the best shape, but definitely nothing that's going to prevent you from buy, though you do have to realize that if this round isn't too fruitful, this half buy is going to be costly, because you're going on a half buy up against people who can buy pretty much whatever they want, and that's always a risk, but Clark seems to be adjusting a little bit. Going to go mostly on the SMGs, it looks like. Apologize, I don't know all the weapon names, but for the most part, doesn't matter too much.
That's true, especially because we're spectating the wrong team again. But we're just looking for
Tiger
information.
With a double entry, and Bucky and Billowatts both sent back the next round.
Yeah, well, they have the advantage. I think the Clark team needs to call a timeout here.
They're aggressive. The aggression isn't going to pay off, though. Not flawless, but pretty detrimental. And Clark, again, remember, they did that half buy. So, it's not the worst spot in the world. They are able to afford the Vandals this round.
Yeah, and it is something that's worth mentioning that they are on a half buy, or that they were on a half buy because.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that was because of the opener by Tony Tiger, the double K. We didn't get to see that. I imagine it was like maybe a collat or something. They were probably double entry.
I'd imagine they just double boost packed and got into a really good spot and ended up clearing 2 kills because of it.
Makes sense. B will be the play this time around.
Unfortunately, not learning from their mistakes, Yaksh, like our Sentinel player right now, has the flank down, and our Smokes player is in a really bad position because he can't play with the rest of the team.
Bucky, though, is making some work happen, though.
Bucky,
not for long. It's an even 4 versus 4 now, but
a 4v4 is fine as long as we can make something happen here. But they're using all the enemy team is using all the utility that they can and that they need to.
B is going to be a tough option now, and that spike is down, remember, so they do have to play the offensive game fast. It's not impossible, though. 2-on-3. 3-on-1. And sadly, a 3-on-0. Clark isn't able to hack, and I think a big part of that, though, is if you drop the bomb on site, then you have to push back in. That's a rough thing to do. Switching sides a little bit almost mid-round. Will be a modified buy as well, and one that they are probably not be too happy with.
They really should be saving here because, as you can see, no one on the team can full buy. They really just need to reset, even if they have to give another round.
Somewhat fruitful mid to B, but again, mid is not going to be an easy take, although they're not looking at B as heavily as you might think.
Yeah.
If 8 rotates, though, are going to be scary, as they know that A is not going to be the take this round. Bucky knows Tony's there and can find them. Tony with the entry. They've got to convert on it.
They do have to convert it. Bucky should just be holding Astra right now so Astra can get down there. Util peeks too far with utility, ends up costing him his life.
And off the back of that, many kills from the side of Buena.
It basically comes down to Joey being able to get 4 kills here because there's no other way.
But Joey does find the connection.
He is finding kills. They don't have any way.
Gone as well. 2 kills for Joey and 2 more that he's hoping to get.
It is possible he hasn't taken any damage yet.
This would be a clutch for the ages. He seems to have an idea where Phalos is and finds the headshot.
Oh my god, is it gonna be one more?
And it's a 1v1 now. They know where Craig is. And they find the 4th option.
Oh wow!
Joey secures the 4-on-1 and comes out with the clutch.
Absolutely clutching it. The only way it could have been better is if he planted the spike too. We're gonna have a timeout real quick, so we will be right back. Now.
We're back.
We are back.
Split. We're at 6-2, and off the back of an amazing clutch.
After that incredible clutch and the timeout, it does give the enemy team a little shaking because now Clark Cougars are also going to come back with a brand new plan, fresh new plan.
That plan involves this A site.
It is a good plan. They are pushing really well. They just cleared like a lot of site, and they're pushing heaven all together, 5-man. It's basically what it comes down to is it's a 5-man versus like 2. Yeah, and it's all like 1v1s that the enemy team is trying to take. And we should not give it to them.
They find late. Or not late, sorry, Craig.
And we're finding kills. But it's literally just 1v1s. The whole enemy team is separated enough to where we can just punish them for this over and over again. I want to see someone recognize this and be like, let's do this. Who's up here? Yaksh can absolutely get a kill here. He knows that they're there.
They can't quite find them though. But again, bomb is
They now
down.
know that there's 2 heaven. Our team needs to stop dying because, again, yes, exactly. It is a 4-man retake, 4v4. They got a good setup on the raise here.
Tony the Tiger wants to make this retake happen, and now only one left to defend this bomb T-Star.
They did just use all their abilities. Unfortunately, they did get it. If I were them, I would have pushed straight to site.
Yeah, it's rough. I think when you get that bomb down, looking for the additional kills by creeping out, it's a bit risky. And off the back of that, you can get into sight and you can get the conversions because there's only limited angles once you've made your way right next to that bomb.
I'm getting really nervous for Clark. They have the adjustments that can be made, and they reached out to me last night because their attack side was weaker. What they are doing is going to work eventually as long as they can push a little bit quicker just to take advantage of the 5v1, get them all off site, get site control early onto the match time. Especially right now, there's only one person on B site with their raise going mid. If they see that, recognize that, even though they all have pistols and it is a save round, basically, or they basically all have pistols and it is a save round, they will have the advantage. They flash out here, take site control. It's literally just the Omen, and I think they are in a really good position. But they need to rotate now. They're blind. They can recognize that everyone's going to be rotating to them because it's all known that they're there. And I really wish there was someone calling rotate right now. They're thinking about it. They should rotate. Please rotate, guys. It's happening. It's happening slowly but surely. We can see Typhon the Tejo is leading the charge in the rotate, while we have Raze and Astra holding in garage still, waiting to make their presence known on B, making the enemy confused as they are thinking the rotate, while they are still just waiting for the slow re-hit. There's only 2 back on site. They have the chance to kill the enemy team Raze here.
The time is taken down, though. They got to get that entry into B.
They do. And there is a chance.
Lots of clears 1, but again, they've lost 2 to Phaelus and 3 now with late. Looks like to be a hard one for Clark. Late, though, finding 4.
With great kills.
Late indeed. They were a bit late to the site as well. Weren't able to get the bomb down in time and had to rush at the end there. I think that's a big part of why they fell to that angle.
It's very interesting to see this happening. See their thought process happening in real time from the spectator perspective. You can see Astra's thinking of going towards mid to make some chaos, or just maybe to get a better position with the smokes.
They want to gamble on A again, and will it be the heaven take, or are they going to go straight for the site?
So right now, Bucky is completely called out, separated by Util. He should recognize that and not be pushing. Unfortunately, maybe he can get a kill and not get fully punished for it.
And they gotta watch the flank as well, with Tripwire is up.
I don't know why he's jumping around. Now they know that they're there. Maybe it's to beta rotate, but it doesn't look like it.
Late, but they're in the smoke.
It doesn't look like it, and it doesn't look like Joey recognizes that there's a flank coming. Luckily, doesn't get called out by the flank either, because that could have been very dangerous. But nonetheless, there is the flank, and they should be very scared.
Bucky now just chased down late, but Lil Palms gets their second kill of the round. Well,
they did win an ult off that trade, though.
That's true. But this is going to be a tough site to break into, but an aggressive way of doing it. 3 kills for Clark. And
leaves one person left on the opposite side, so they get a free plant for sure. It gives Astra and Breach a chance to play together.
But low health for Milliwatts. He's going to have to find an angle that's conducive to him staying alive, and looks like he did find a good place for it.
We do have Astra Wall. There is only 2 rounds left. It might be a good time to pop the Astra Wall just to make sure they can't win this round. Make it 8-4 half.
that is the option that's on the table, but with a 2-on-1, they might not want to take it. It's hard to know. Ooh, but they catch Phalos off
TP'd
guard.
right into the smoke. Smart TP. Unfortunately, Clark knew it was coming as we win our 3rd round.
Very smart play, and they save the ultimate as well, so they have that option next round. Or this round, rather. 3-on-8 looks tough, but 4-on-8 is nothing that you can't come back from.
3-9.
Yeah, I guess that would. Well, I'm saying 3-on-8 is what it is now.
True.
They want that 8 take again, and this time everyone's gonna be on board. But again, the utility.
They got stunned. They should be able to read that it's coming. Unfortunately, not an adjustment that they're making in this game.
But this is a game plan they've shown before, so I'm expecting.
They did Astro Wall off Heaven. Right now, they just clear sight. Bucky has the right idea. He's ready to push. He is clearing sight. I don't know why he cleared Heaven. Heaven does not need to be cleared.
Bucky gets the knowledge, but Lades gets the kill, and Tony follows. And Bucky does take 2.
Bucky does take 2.
Performance.
Unfortunately, only 1. Joey has cleared worse odds than this before.
Joey doesn't see.
He does not clear his corners, and it does cost him. But it is 9-3. The 9-3 curse is real. I saw some of their defense.
What's the 9-3 curse?
9-3 curse is just the idea that a team can come back from 9-3 very easily.
I like that.
And more often than any other score where it's this one-sided, 9-3 is the one where you want, because that's where most people come back.
I believe. I think Clark makes the comeback here. Do you know how many maps there are in this series? Is it best
this
of 3?
Would be the last one, I believe.
If they won, yeah.
No matter what, this should be the last map.
Oh yeah, because it's 1-1.
Yes.
So everyone at home, you better be prepared for the comeback. You got to put the popcorn away and get your foam fingers out. Get your Cougar merch and start cheering through your screen as Clark takes on.
Oh, that's the
last
team.
map
All right.
of their first game in Nationals.
So we can see that they're pushing B. What I want to see is the Cypher setup. The Cypher cam is what we were looking at during scrim last night when we were pre-scrimming, just looking over the layouts. That camera is really solid because no one will ever look there. But the issue is that people can also push a good bit out of garage before it actually has any value.
Pistol round looks rough. Bill Watts evens the score a little bit, but Tony took 2 early, and now the mid to B conversion is going to be putting Clark on the retake in a very unfavorable position. Not too unfavorable. 2 against 3. Bucky makes it a 2 against 3. That is, sorry, I read that wrong. But now a 2 against 2.
Now it's a 2v2. It is winnable. I think
very
that they're.
Much so.
Bill Watts is recognizing where they are. He just needs to.
Great play.
Beautiful. Exactly. He knew exactly where he was. He put down the star. Bucky came in. Even though it wasn't activated in time, there was a slight timing issue. It freaked them out enough so that Bucky could get the kill. And then they just didn't shoot Yox when he peeked and walked onto Spike, which is just as good. I'd rather take that than have Yox die and Bucky clutch up with the last kill.
Exactly. Those are the kind of outplays we like to see. And now Clark, 4 versus 9. Perhaps that 9 versus 3 comeback.
Absolutely. Happens every time. Their defense is incredibly strong, and I absolutely believe in them. The only way that pistol round honestly could have been better was if all of the Clark team died and still won the round, because just for economy. As you can see, we have some pretty big guns. One of us even bought a Vandal.
Yes, but the bigger the guns, the harder they fall. Clark's got to be careful with this buy because losing to the pistol is going to cost him.
A single person dying will cost them, but good job that whenever they're peaking with utility now, they have someone to cover them.
And they should be wary of this mid-hold because that's what caught them off guard at the beginning of the pistol last time.
They do know that it's happening. Unfortunately, no one to cover Typhon, no one to play off of it. I think I just saw T-Star holding out his pistol, which is very concerning to me.
Bucky, though, finds the kill into Phalos and evens the score. Clark now, they know where they're coming from. They know B is the site.
I think it's going to come down to Breach here. Breach is going to have to get a pick really quick.
Joey, that game sense is activating. They know that their plan is coming out. The retake is going to be a 2-on-3. Clark's come back from
Bucky
worse.
clearing the corner.
Ooh,
unfortunately, did give them the round, gave them guns. They dropped the gun for the Vandal or their teammate. Very smart on them. Very organized.
It's a very rough loss for Clark because they're losing those heavy weapons.
It is.
The pistols.
This is a good economy lesson for all of our Valorant players because right now they did lose the buy round. So you have two options here. What you would have to do is you would have to save this round no matter what. Because if you buy this round and you lose, then you lose the next two rounds basically. They'll have the gun advantage for the rest of the game.
Tell me about the SMG buy for Bucky here. Is that like a trying to get guns for the other
It's
players?
Questionable. I think he's trying to make a hero play.
I like that though.
Well, it could pay off very well, don't get me wrong, but what is happening here is that they're all dying anyways, the entire Clark team.
Trades for a pistol round, and hopefully that SMG can activate soon as Bucky creeps into the entrance to A site. Finds one, but is taken down for it. It's not the trade he wanted, but it is 3-on-3 for Clark.
Well, what would have happened if he just had a sheriff? He would have had more money and ended up getting that kill anyways. So it's just the basic principle that, hey, you know, you just set it up for worse for later.
Might fall to Billawatts. Simply a difference in caliber. But Joey does find a kill here, and the 1-on-2, it's not impossible. Though
it's not. They got a lot of guns. They're gonna have to fully rebuy this round.
You're proud of that. I mean, you lose the SMG. It wasn't as fruitful as you might have hoped, but I mean, you do get some kills on the pistol. And we've been seeing this whole game. We've been seeing a lot of losses on the heavy buys. You know, I think there's like a level of confidence that you have going into those rounds that you have to be. Or perhaps it's just the fact that Valorant has a lot more things going on in terms of ultimates and abilities and such. But I'm surprised. It's definitely something that's happened very consistently. So.
Yeah, it's just a very interesting game. You always like to see it because it's always about outthinking your enemy.
Good angle here from Billawatts. Doesn't quite able to get it onto Tony the Tiger, but they know A is going to be the take here.
We have an incredible ult there. Ended up getting the kill for very minimal damage. Puts us at an advantage right off the start. What Clark has to do right now is stop using all their utility. Just hold the advantage. They know they have it.
Is rotated to mid. Likely a mid to B.
Absolutely. Completely correct. What we want to see here is Joey get a kill on this guy because this Cypher, now he's completely known where he is. We just got to watch our util spam. We're spamming way too much util.
Billawatts isn't going to let anything happen on A site, and now the rotate can come through successfully. They got to be wary of someone holding mid, though. But Joey makes short work of Craig, and now Clark at an advantage. 3-on-1.
Ooh, lucky we had the advantage a lot there. Definitely got it early because of Bucky. Bucky got that free ultimate kill for no damage, which we steamrolled it. We ended up holding the advantage. And even though we had a couple silly deaths, one death while we were reloading, for the most part, we were getting our trades or getting our picks and then trading up when we needed to. What we want to see here is basically the same thing done again, except instead of using the raise ult, because obviously we don't have it, what we want to see is just holding our angles so that we can get a pick. Maybe so that we can get the Astra ult down into a good place once they start pushing, because the enemy team, you can see, is not pushing. They're waiting for us to push into them. And that is going to give them kills. They just did a lot of damage to Typhon. He is basically dead for now, unless someone can use Typhon basically as a utility bot to trade off of, just as for extra utility.
The concern, though, is that he calls for help on A, but luckily that doesn't seem to be the case. They seem to know that something is happening on B, and those lurks in mid are going to have to activate if they want to help stop this push.
We're not seeing anything right now in terms of site control. We did get some damage off on their raise, which does give us a little bit to work with. What we want to see is Typhon doing something. Typhon right now is not getting any value on the team.
But Watts to find 1 and Bucky as well. But Clark, a 2 versus 3 retake. They've done better. And now it's Typhon's time to shine as he looks into this site.
Completely unaware that they're there.
I like that. That's funny.
But they do know that he's there right now because that flash did happen. What they have to do is realize that the Omen is there and kill him.
It's a tough smoke to walk into if they list to take down Watts and then late to secure the round. Match point.
They do need to use their timeout here.
For Buena Vista.
They have a timeout, right?
Is 1 round away from exiting the Nationals.
They can win still. It is still very winnable. They have even buys. No, that's not true. They don't have even buys. I was seeing things. They have a much weaker buy. What they need to do is just hold their angles. They need to hold their angles very solid. Keep a lot of site control. They're getting really creative here, but it's not paying off.
At home has to also contribute. As I said before, foam fingers in the air, everyone. We got Clark's comeback inbound on match point for Buena Vista. Joey in a bit of a tight spot here.
Very tight, but a lot of utility dump.
Falls
I thought we had someone there to cover Joey, but they were playing aggressive and they died.
Watts wants to make something happen this round, though, taking down Craig, and they seem to have an idea of where Tony might be, but Tony gets the upper edge, and Bucky can secure 1 for Clark. 2 on 3 turns to 3 on 1. And now, the last Harvard Clark University T-Star does fall, and it is a victory for Buena Vista in the NECC Nationals.
Seeing a lot now that the 3-minute delay has passed with the 4K clutch and saying winnable. Unfortunately for us tonight, it was not a win.
But I mean, it's not a win, but a great showing from everyone on Clark University. That amazing clutch moment. We had multiple times where we were, screaming in the whisper room, and whenever that happens, you know that people put on a good show. So shout out to everyone on Clark University, and of course, thank you Buena Vista for letting us do the stream, and we wish you best of luck in the rest of the Nationals.
Yeah, both teams played really well, and it was a very good showing. In other related esports news, tomorrow at approximately 8 p.m. same time, we are also going to be showcasing League of Legends, who also made it to Nationals. It is their first game. So be sure to tune in for that. Really good showcase of both Clark teams this season, and it's a very much pleasure that they both get to make it to Nationals.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure to tune in tomorrow and give our League of Legends teams just as much love as you showed our Valorant team tonight. They need your support if they want to make it all the way. Remember, our league team got to the final 2 when they were in the local, final match there. So I believe they have got a good shot of making it all the way. So check out the stream tomorrow if you guys are available.
Absolutely. And in any case, we will see you guys next time.
Peace.